think you should give a fair warning that Tiny might be heading your way to prevent these early TB deaths. So that's how you get your game going. You play to the TB timing. We've already seen how strong a Shadow Fiend can be if he is ahead in farm versus the Terrorblade. So see if all of this anti-SF pays off.
We will indeed. And I also wonder, just with this Nyx Assassin, the way that the best Nyxes play it is it's all about divide and conquer, right? You want to be overwhelming them so much that you're kind of forced to split up, get any sort of farm on the map that you can, wherever you can. Nigma Galaxy probably aren't going to be falling that far behind, so Asan isn't going to be able to find these, like, quick individual pickoffs off the back of, like, you know, Vendetta, right-click, Dagon, Impale, Mind Flare. So when you're grouping up with Nigma Galaxy at, you know, that SF level 15 mark, that's really the big counter to the Nyx Assassin, right? Is just grouping up and playing as a team. You're not going to be able to, you know, get that surprise jump because you're always going to have sentries down. You can't just walk up into a team fight. So maybe he needs to be a little bit more clever with some of his item choices. You know, they've obviously already got the SK with eventual Blink Stun coming in with the Epicenter, but maybe you just go like Dagon 1 on Asan and then rush the Blink Dagger after that, just to try and provide a bit of a point of difference, right?
I guess that's something you look at. Like, are you suggesting max the Dagon or leave it at 1?
Just leave it at 1 to start.
Just leave it at 1. I'd like that.
Then go the Blink Dagger and then back into the Dagon afterwards. If the game is going quite well.
I'm happy with that if he decides to build it that way. Always, like, anything above 3 Dagon feels like either you're going all in or you can't just leave it there, right? So you get 1 point in it, you already get the base stats, you get the lifesteal and everything out of it. Just what you need for the hero to work. There are some squishies, Muerta, SF, until SF has items, of course. The Naga Siren can be somewhat of an easy pick. But Tiny and Primal Beast are going to be like near impossible. That's where you need somebody to follow up with this Nyx, and you don't have global presence. Sand King's going to have to tag along with the Nyx Assassin. Not the brightest idea. SD very likely dies in an attempt to join Nyx Assassin for a kill, and SD doesn't have the required burst either to knock somebody out. It's going to be pretty tricky for this Nyx.
They have the Shadow Demon at least, right, though, for the old Promulgate facet. So it's a way to deal that instant 15% of someone's max HP. So it feels quite nice to be able to... You mentioned how tanky the Tiny and the Primal Beast are going to be, and I look across the Winter Bear lineup, I don't really see any Vessel carriers on that lineup. So you're going to need some sort of percentage damage if you're going to be able to get through this, and that really feels like it.
Boys are drawing some colors there on the minimap.
Some fans.
Artistic. Poison is also doubling down this game, just so you know.
Oh, has he done it again, has he?
He's done it again, yeah. But Nigma's not falling for it. Last series, we got some laughs in all chat for that. That was after a First Blood, right?
It was, yes.
Yeah, it's the classic hit. First Blood, then double down. Announce it to everybody.
Hopefully this is just a thing for the first game of the series, the old... DC, normally this was a Southeast Asian thing whenever I was covering those games. Every single game there was a DC, but you know what? Settings should be sorted, game should be restarted, and we're into it.
We are on our way.
Latest smoke coming out here, trying to pick someone off. Not exactly the strongest level 1, I have to say, on the Winter Bear side.
Also, Noob is... Oh, okay. I'm not going to say it because he's doing it again. He's not with his team. It's like when he's playing Doom or Beast, I was about to make a theory. He will not be with his team, but he's going to do it anyway. He's not going to be around. Scouting on the other side of him. This is a Nigma thing to do. If Winter Bear have scouted this out, they should expect 4 heroes, not 5.
Or they can just go to where the 1 is going to be, right? Like, it's always him going to his side of the map. So I feel like, at worst, you break the smoke, he gets away, but he probably has to level up the onslaught to be able to make that happen. And that really ruins the, at least early parts of the laning stage.
The battle begins.
Poison dropping down on Ops ward at the Bounty Rune. And Kachal soaks up a couple hits here. GH and Omar already at work. Ensure that they get that early damage out onto the Darkseer. Who will then TP to the lane, and here we go with the Iron Shell spam. Of course, mid. Pastille versus Sumail. Tiny versus Sandking. How do you think this is going to go? This is the Sand Shroud.
Oh, he went the Sound Shroud, did he? Okay. I think
maybe
it should
farm
be
lane?
fine enough. Yeah. I don't know, like, I feel like Tiny's one of those heroes that he should be just fine against this. I mean, the lane is going to be shoved out, but it's kind of predictable, right? So Sumail, with that big attack range that he's got to be able to play around with, should be able to, you know, dip in and out of the lane at the right sort of times. He shouldn't be in too much danger going up against this SK.
Yeah, already hit the early level 2 as well. That is a really big Caustic Finale explosion. That took almost 50% of Sumail's HP. Getting that entire creep wave low.
To try and do it again.
Also top lane Asan, we were watching momentarily there, going for the creep wave pull, but Darkseer's not going to be around. So I think this is just for the Nyx Assassin alone to hit his level 2. I don't like
so
the idea that they split
denying
it.
away the range creep as well. I mean, it's very important that you don't get up into, you know, early level 3 on the Shadow Fiend. That's really where you hit that peak, you know, Naga 2, SF3. All you really need is point in the ensnare, the deluge, the reel in, few Shadow Razors, and you're dead meat.
It's very important, yeah, to split that early XP as well for Winterbear to get that 2 on the Nyx.
Oh no.
And that's a second courier snipe in the same spot for GH. He killed both Asan's and Kachal's. So that's 50 times 5. 250 gold already granted for Nigma.
Feels pretty good to be able to get that at this early stage of the game. And, well, to their credit, though, they have been able to remaneuver the lane to be right in front of their tower. Never mind, it's going to bounce out off the back of this, but Miracle, good presence of mind as well to be able to pull it into the hard camp. Doing the right thing as the carry.
Asan being chased by GH while Miracle just free farms. He's supposed to. Bottom lane haven't really looked at that too much, but Noob has taken a sizable amount of damage on this Primal Beast from this Terrorblade Reflection and the first Metamorph usage in the lane. And see that Poison has also not picked the point in Shadow Poison. It's gone for Disseminate and Disruption. While Miracle does find the first blood in the top lane, that is Asan, who had been running for quite some time trying to contest these pulls, losing his life.
It's exactly what I was talking about, though, right? That level 3 timing, where, you know, you've got that buffed up Shadow Rays, you've got the reel-in available, and with all of that, I'm kind of surprised that GH has just been freed up to walk up to the Lotus Pool and snare that for himself, completely solo.
Just the early salve up there as well to get the Primal Beast back to full HP. Level 3 could be a timing to do something. You do have to pay attention in team fights. If there's a moment Poison hasn't used Demonic Purge, you can dispel the Onslaught charge if Noob runs past him, which is something... It's a very small interaction, but can play a pretty big role because Primal Beast doesn't like SD using spells on him.
No, definitely not.
Look like Child doesn't like it either.
Honestly, I'd say he's probably the main one that's going to be focused in on by that charge anyway, so he should never have... a lack of awareness about Primal Beast positioning. Bottom lane,
that a first kill potentially. Big heal there for the Muerta. Almost full magic wand. Survives Poison. It's level 3, but hasn't locked in a point in Shadow Poison yet. GH is also pretty deep here in mid. Annoying Pastille a bit there. Takes away his water rune, so empty bottle.
Do the same thing with the bounty as well. Or just making sure to secure it away from Sumail.
Everybody's at least decent in terms of farm in the laning stage so far. Even Kachal, even though he and his teammate, or lane mate, have both died once. Kind of expected. Not really two heroes that like the fight early.
Yeah, I'll say it's going okay for them, but that's probably the extent of it, right? You've got
set up
GH
on Omar.
Yep.
No mana for Sand King to use his Burrow Strike because of the lack of those runes, and instead they will get Poison as a kill as Sumail just walks in. But still, he's under a sentry ward. Facet or not, Noob's going to start stomping him around. Pastil finally got mana for a Burrow Strike. But they're just going to lock him in, and what a sad Sand King that is. He almost kills Omar, and Hassan will come in to take the Mind Flare, slap down the Muerta. But it is a set of kills where Sumail is taking part. Just with the tiny ones.
They took so long to be able to kill that Observer Ward. If you kill it even like a couple of seconds earlier, you don't die on the Muerta as a result of that. That's the only reason he was able to even get the Mind Flare on Hassan, so... a little bit of a blunder, but maybe they were just putting all of their emphasis in onto that Sand King, making sure that he doesn't get too far out of control.
Yep. Now they're in a 2 versus 3 here in mid. Want to force out the Nick stun early, and there's the reel-in, bringing in the Sand King closer. His creep weight is pretty much gone, so with that Burrow Strike, that's the last act they can make. I'll get GH's Courier. Poison walks in, securing the Invis rune for Pastil. And he needs a couple more seconds. 3 for Burrow Strike. Sumail walking in, takes the front. Zones out the Sand King.
Doesn't have anything to be able to make plays with. Really nice play there from Hassan. Body blocking the dead shot from pushing the Sand King further back into the rest of the team. God damn, that's a lot of damage. Because the Deluge had already been used. The reel-in was already being used. So Bastille was just a dead man walking, if not for the Nyx Assassin in this positioning there. So very nicely done.
Still, with all this activity down in mid, this has given Miracle the freest time of his life. 7 minutes, not even on the clock, and he has 4,000 net worth. So he's just fully on free farm. 2 kills to go with.
He's loving life right now.
Yeah, he's going to hit some really quick timings compared to the Terrorblade, who's already 1,000 gold behind.
I have to wonder if they're maybe considering... I was about to say giving this this Wisdom Rune over to the Darkseer, just making sure that he's at least got that little bit of extra net worth. He's got an early-ish wall of Replica to go up and stop this Shadow Fiend from getting any further out of control than he already is. I mean, he's already got a freaking Dragon Lance and a couple Healing Lotuses as well, so these towers are already starting to take some hits.
Sumail also going Soul Ring on the Tiny. You're going to need some source of extra mana. I'm happy with this item choice.
Sure.
Not every single game do they build a Soul Ring on the hero. Some resort for a Null, some just are happy with the bottle itself, but just getting that extra Soul Ring, it does give you a bit of extra tankiness too, the early damage. What Nigma has been doing, and actually talking about itemization in the first 10 to 15 minutes, they might have multiple laning stage items in their inventories. They don't even look towards like a 12, 13 minute huge item. They might have like, you know, double, triple Wraith Bands and stuff like that. As for still, it's being targeted by Noob and Omar. They'll find themselves the Sand King in the river. But it's gonna pose an issue for Winterbear, because if they want to hit an early timing of group up and try to fight, if Nigma have built a lot of laning items, they're not so easy kills anymore.
No, definitely not. And so I think it becomes a matter of, well, okay, can they try and isolate anyone? Because they do have the potential to kill someone if they're in on their own, right? Not exactly like wanting to use the epicenter for that purpose, but when you've got an arcane rune, I feel like you're kind of justified to go down that avenue if you're really feeling the desire to. And Hassan, he's about to hit up onto his level 6 as well, so should be enough for them to potentially try and make something happen here.
Radiant are scanning.
So who are you killing? Maybe the Naga or the Muerta? SF's already 1400 HP. You mentioned that. Dragonlance. Tiny, not a target. Primal Beast, if you're anything above 1400 HP, 2 heroes on the side of Winterbear might not be enough to take a hero down.
It just becomes that issue again of what are the supports able to do on their own, and the answer is nothing. They're going to go for a smoke together, but this becomes kind of obvious. Yep, the creep wave's pushing into the tower, so Miracle, I think he gets a sense of exactly what's going on. He's hiding in the tree line. I'm sure that's the comms going out from the team. Not the biggest amount of mana on everyone. Noob actually doesn't have enough to be able to TP back to the lane.
I don't think it is enough information for them to actually make a move. I guess they believe... Hassan's coming back. You know, that does cost a bit of mana going back and forth.
He's got the presence of the Dark Lord on him, so he knows.
Yeah, and there's the epicenter being used with the wall. They're going to close up on Miracle, take down the Shadow Fiend, so it might have taken a while, but it pays off.
It's the right play. You know, you got to make sure that you're making the most out of that Arcane Rune. You got to make sure that you're making the most out of any time that their Vendetta is enabling an easy kill. And we've mentioned Tiny, Primal Beast, they're going to be incredibly hard to take out, so The other main win condition that had a completely free lane up until that point was certainly the option.
Guess there wasn't enough information there for Miracle. He was waiting for people to show up on the map potentially. They didn't really have a scan available either to show their position, so he just waited and waited. He waited a bit too long. Didn't TP out anywhere else. There's still the T1's up, so not a place for Miracle to go. Meanwhile, got the charge in on Primal Beast towards the Sand King. Pastil has been zoned out. Salve is running. We'll up the Sandstorm, but he's got Dust with him. And here comes Miracle. He'll get back up to speed with this kill.
It does take him a few people to be able to do it, though, right? So, yes, it sucks that your mid laner is dying, but TB is still looking to pick up a decent amount of farm. He's kind of far behind the SF, to be honest, considering he hasn't died up until this point. But, you know, it gives him some space to be able to get into that next item, to be able to go the Dragonlance so that you're not just dead man walking against this SF, you know?
Looks like Nigma's gonna start hitting these towers as well, at least from the top lane. Potentially Sumail with that 80 rune in his bottle can start looking towards mid, but Hassan, there's the wall for the slow, and Hassan gets to catch up SF, but GH before the Mind Flare went off, and that's gonna save Miracle's life. GH, God. Simple press of a button just at the right time. Like 0.2 seconds later, that would have been an SF dead.
He pressed R indeed. What a god.
Wow.
I mean, his positioning, sure. That was the thing that was on point. I was about to say I'm a little surprised that they hadn't set up a sentry ward prior to that, and you could see there, you know, Poison had just placed one down. And he was thinking, did they know? Did they know that we were there? Is that why he was able to be so quick with the fingers? But no, wasn't the case.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty weird initiation. It was like you got the edge of the wall, but it slowed him down just enough for the Nyx to catch him. While the Nyx assassin, we talk about him, he's going to get reeled into the silence, uses the illusion rune to dispel that silence. Now he's silenced again, but he's already used his spells. Epicent just cancelled as well, but still can't get close enough. Sumail has been super slowed, but Noob runs down the man with the shadow poison, aka poison, as Noob will get this tower with the help of Miracle.
He just ended up reeling him in towards that illusion rune, right? Just giving it over to the Nyx assassin. I mean, it ends up in someone dying anyway, but I'm sure they would have loved to have another bottle refill available on Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, but I like this move that they make instantly from the T1 is go straight to the triangle, knowing SD is dead, and that wall is probably still on cooldown, but there's no real stacks here. However, they target the Terrorblade. TP's coming in bottom, Pulverize is ready. Bang, 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 as Sumail shows up, and with the Requiem, they want to make sure TP has no chance to respond. Omar, he will die on the edge of that triangle, killing Malfurion Stormrage, another one for Miracle.
Committing all three cores to be able to take out that TB, realizing that he's the only one having a relatively decent time this game so far. I think Omar might have just stuck around because they even TP'd away with 2 Ancient Creeps on about 100 HP, just wanting to make sure that they took advantage of any time where, you know, the TB might be venturing a little bit too far forward. So you know what, he pays with his life. I didn't see if he actually secured those Ancient Creeps, but the end result is a net positive for Nigma Galaxy anyway, right? They take a tier 1 tower, they take away the enemy position 1. Sure, you give a couple of Ancient Creeps over to Winterbear, but they were probably going to get them.
Absolutely. A lot changing the storyline here. We're looking at these... maybe we can look at Winterbear's itemization timings as well. What did they plan to do to help this Nyx assassin secure those kills, as he's got that Dagon soon ready. DB is going to be out of question for a while, but Guardian Greaves not too far away for the Darkseer. Slightly pushed back from his original timings though, losing that tower, dying once in the lane, but still a decent timing. But you look at tiny Echo Saber coming up for Sumail. He's going to have a lot of mono regen with the Soul Ring, the Blink, the Echo.
And my real question is, what are they going to be able to do with the smoke, right? There was a 4-band smoke coming from Winterbear. They actually did get a glimpse of Noob when he was on about 60% HP, but I think just with that cloak that he's been able to pick up and the infused raindrops, they felt like they still couldn't kill him even with 4 heroes. And that's a big concern for mine, that pretty much the only form of non-magical damage that you have is Vendetta and Terrorblade, and like a perfect back wall plus punch coming from the Darkseer. Everything else is just all magic.
Pretty much, yeah. That also means that you want to play early, right? Magic doesn't really scale that well. Nope. Gets stunned up quickly. Nyx on the run away. Has to pop his Vendetta for it, so that means that his Scuttle will be gone with that same usage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I want to see him just get a tiny bit greedy though, right? Like the power spike that you get when going into the Dagon just feels so impactful. So just give him the lane, right? Like Sumail feels like he's constantly patrolling around with GH. His positioning on the Naga Siren has been perfect so far, right? 0 deaths, constantly scouting with those illusions, giving a ton of information about when there are stacks that they could potentially look to steal away, and then of course setting up for kills as well with the Deluge.
The Deluge.
Nothing Delulu about this one though.
Not at all. Getting closer to that Solar Crest timing. I think all of these items Nigma's getting are making this game harder and harder for this Nyx Assassin to approach. He's under a sentry ward in front of his T1 tower, which will also fall. Be really careful about initiating on a Primal Beast. I just really can't see them finding an easy kill anywhere on the map anymore. So they're forced to group up.
And again,
How
a
many
big part of
smokes
it
do you
is
have left?
not many. And again, I feel like a big part of it is due to GH, right? He just constantly is keeping track of all of them. Mirror image being cast on cooldown. He sends them 3 different directions just to get a good understanding of where exactly they can play. They did smoke under a ward though, so they might be able to set up for this and catch Nigma Galaxy off guard.
Let's see who they're gonna get. Nice jump in from Sumail, straight on top of that Darkseer. Take away the Aura Carrier.
It's just a little bit slow. Like, they should have known that was coming, and the TP's come in after the fact, so I don't know, maybe thinking that, you know what, they don't have Pulverize, but it's up in 20 seconds.
Sentry's down, they see the Nyx Assassin, they can just jump him right away, and his surprise element is gone, but still, just get the stun out onto the Primal Beast, and that's going to be the first kill. Malfurion is put to the side of the fight. GH thinking about singing for a second, because Miracle could use some help, but he dies to the TP anyway. And now he teleports out.
Is this Roche for them?
I mean, he was in the Roche pit alone, thinking that, you know, Nigma's going to be there in time to help them out. They're not going to be in any trouble. But Nyx giving that important vision and information. I think Asan is once again kind of saving the situation. They just smoked under that lane ward. So I'm pretty sure Omar should be getting back to safety and not any follow-up kills at least, because they don't want to go Roshan.
GH though, he's walking around under some vision and might be under a little bit of concern as well. You see that power spike coming through from the Dagon as well. That's what ended up getting the SF killed. You know, it was the lifesteal coming from the Dagon damage that got him back to a decent amount. Means that the spike carapace came off cooldown.
Malfurion's in trouble, and just that Pulverize is going to be enough. It's just a simple defense there from Nigma, getting their hands on Malfurion Storm Rage, taking down that TB. Sumail wants the tower, but see if they can catch someone. Sumail's out of mana. Poison has been caught. He drops the Purge on Noob. Omar, can he land a dead shot on him? Well, he closes out that one exit route, so there we go. They're going to be able to get the poison, and Miracle, yeah, he gets jumping at the same time. Kachal gets this kill. Spastil and Asan running down the carry.
This is where... Not the pause. This is where I would be all chatting if I was Shadow Demon Worth for that sort of play, because he just distracted them as an SD. I mean, it's a really high priority target because of what you're able to do to disrupt a lot of these ganks, but he just, you know, dangled himself out there and said, look at me, take me out, I'm a high priority, and the real high priority target in the SF was the one that got his life snuffed out because of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're definitely making things interesting here in the terms of this series. I don't think it's going to be that one-sided for Nigma, at least in Game 1. One of the perks I wanted to talk about for Winter Bear, yesterday, actually, we shortly discussed this. I'm not sure if a lot of people were around, but I think the biggest thing that they can do is win Game 1. If you're Winter Bear.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it has them second-guessing themselves. And like I was saying, with the kind of unorthodox draft that they went for, it's basically just, again, feels like anti-SF, right? Darkseer plus TB. You know, just this big hyper carry. We're saying, you know what, we want that power. We want to be able to turn it into an asset for us to use. I will say, though, with Kachal, yes, it's important to be able to get into this Crimson Guard, but I feel like the pipe would have given them so much more value against this lineup in particular. Like, that's a vast majority of the damage coming from 4 of the Nigma Galaxy heroes that you could look to play with off the back of that.
Yeah, I see the reasoning with the pipe. I could see them potentially discuss that in their comms, like, do they want pipe now? But with the Guardian Greaves already up, like, they might just have a bit of a late pipe timing, because, you know, the Shadow Fiend, it is Miracle. He's going to have, like, Crystallis and into Daedalus up fairly soon. You saw the Echo Saber already up on the Tiny, who's also got Crystallis coming in. I think the right-click damage is really noticeable already.
Yeah, but if it's that noticeable, is the Crimson Guard really going to be able to do much about anything, right? Like, it's good against your Visage and, you know, the Troll Warlord, for example. Lots of little hits, death by 1,000 cuts. Not so much, you know, 3-hit combo.
Your answer's as good as mine. We'll just have to see if it does actually play an impact, or at least a powerful role. Noob
with the amp damage
almost gets caught by the Nyx there. Just quickly able to cut down the wave with the use of his trample.
Be able to get
any other hero that was any other hero that takes a bit longer to clean the wave, that would have been Nyx jumping on him.
Mm-hmm. It's got the Whisper, the Dread as well, so even more damage that this Nyx Assassin has to be able to dish out. Level 12 too, so 400 bonus pure damage coming through from him.
Yeah, they got 2 of them too. Sand King with that Blink Initiation, plus the Veiled Discord. Ton of magical damage that they can throw in. I think that is a very key source, because when you look at Nigma's side, they have that pipe on Noob. And he's also lining up the Shiva's Guard, BKB. Almost a solar up on the Naga Siren.
What is Nyx going to do?
Roshan is their plan here, but
they might feel confident enough just to walk into the Roche pit because of that Tormentor alert, and Hassan, he's going to be in position.
Just far enough.
Yeah.
Did they get... I don't think they got taps on the Nyx Assassin popping their smokes, but I don't think Hassan saw them either.
Oh,
Dust connects, so now they definitely know there's a Nyx skulking about. And here comes Sumail. Ton of burst. 1,300 HP gone in less than a second.
Yeah, but as soon as that happens, they know that Roshan is done for, so just Pastille blinks forward in the lane. Make sure to quickly shove out the lane as quickly as possible, so they're not going to be able to get too much off the back of this. SF level 15 as well, so you got to make sure that if you're taking these successful team fights, that they happen as far back towards the Nigma Galaxy side of the map as possible, just because you don't want to run the risk of your entire base being shredded.
They'll definitely get this bottom tier 2.
Yeah, that's what they're content to do, right? It's the Dark Lord hitting in onto the towers. Didn't get the Grove Bow. He's got the Specialist's Array with his tier 2 item, so certainly not the worst for the SF. A little surprised that we haven't seen a couple more sentries placed down in this general vicinity.
Really living off of the dust usage, right? Both Omar and GH.
Backline.
They'll talking about GH. He gets jumped by Hassan. He survives for now. They will lose their first hero. The tower is down. Requiem is out there too. And they'll get themselves a multitude of kills and maybe get themselves out as well. That is the Tiny gone. Sumail just kind of disappeared. How did that Tiny fall so quickly? I need to look at the death summary. Sand King did 1,800 damage to him.
Yep. That's what happens with the Veil, and you know he's level 2 on the Epicenter as well. Extra Sandstorm damage per second, so without the Primal Beast being there with that pipe, certainly do drop quite quickly.
How much extra amp is that? You got the 15% from Shiva's, 8% from Whisper of the Dread. Is there anything else that reduces their magic resistance?
Probably not magic resistance, but the Disseminate probably was a factor as well from the SD.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you talked about offensively.
Talking about that, yeah, that's a huge chunk of HP just disappearing on the first use.
Especially combining it together with a Sand King, right? It's all about that shared AoE damage, so people just take a ton of damage all in one big clump. And that didn't even happen perfectly for Winterbear either. It was a bit of a misplay from Hassan. He didn't actually get his right-click off onto the Naga Siren before he put the combo through, so it probably took him a little bit longer to die than you were wanting. Means that you got a couple of seconds off of that Song of the Siren, and maybe the Nyx Assassin even lives off the back of that if the burst damage comes through just that little bit quicker. And I do like to see he might have been listening in, he's using his spidey senses, going for that Blink Dagger after level 1 Dagon.
It's going to be a
The
good
old-
pick up there. Going to make his jumps a bit easier, too. Honestly, targeting GH feels like the best target to go for, right? Like, if he doesn't get to set the fight up for Nigma, they can take the fight the way that of their choosing, basically. Setting up the song and putting people in position.
Like,
Yes and no?
I feel like it's going to change around, right? GH right now, absolutely. #1 target, for sure, in my eyes. But moving forward, I feel like either go onto Miracle without right-clicking, so you do get the stun off at the very beginning, but that's only going to change around once these BKBs start to come out from Winter Bear, and it's going to be quite a while until TB is able to get into it at least, but Darkseer and Sand King, that's their next item for both of them. So I feel like once that comes out, you're not really all that concerned about this Naga Siren and the Song of the Siren. You've got the uninterruptible damage to just keep on pushing forward to a higher priority target.
Looks like Winter Bear's been struggling a bit with their internet connection. Hopefully, won't hurt them too much in the course of this game because things are going pretty well. This might just be one of our most even games of the qualifier.
Still sitting about 50-50, the win prop.
Yeah, love to see it. That's what we want from our grand finals. Even if at the very start we kind of dubbed this is the Nigma qualifier, as it has been for the remainder, I mean, for pretty much this entire 24 year, for the times when Falcons have been also playing in those qualifiers. But this one,
we just go off the facts. You know, a lot of the evidence suggests that, but if Winter Bear have been saving a couple of strats, maybe trying to bait out a few things, and they've been pretty good at that bait. And again, I really feel like Nigma just need to, again, just regroup and say, look, what are we actually playing around? What does our draft involve? It is Shadow Fiend. So just do everything they possibly can to be able to protect it, get him into that data list that he's got coming next, and then, push off the back of that. You've still got more than 3 minutes left on the Aegis, right? So this is the time to really ensure that, he's got a good time in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Still got a lot of scaling on both sides. Which one's better, do you think, towards like ultra late? Well, not ultra late game. Let's say 40-minute timings for TB versus SF. Not necessarily against each other's, but as individuals.
Oh, that's not good.
That is not a good sign.
Just fire up the generator, put the hamster on the wheel, and see if he could give you the damage and the power that you need. To answer your question, SF versus TB, I would probably give it to the SF still. Although, he is going for the Skadi, right? So I feel like maybe with all the lifesteal that SF's going to be trying to use, that's not going to be as effective. The main thing that kind of tips it a little bit more towards the Winter Bear side, in my eyes, is that, again, it's not just TB. It's TB with an SF reflected and a wall of replica and potentially an Aghanim Scepter wall, normal punch into the SF as well. So, like, all of that combined leads me to believe that it might be a little bit more towards the Winter Bear side. But then again, I'd say probably the supports have a bit more room to grow on the Nigma Galaxy side as well. Like, this Muerta could be a legitimate damage source, especially against that TB.
Also, he has higher agi gain, but that's a very small stat when we look at like level 25 inventories between heroes. SF has a lot of bonus damage from the souls, and TB just in general has a lot of base damage.
Uh-oh. Is TB's agi gain the highest? I feel like it is.
I mean, Weaver used to be higher, right? That was like 4.1 or 4.2.
I want to say yes. I might be wrong, though.
Gonna have to quickly check
I know Primal Beast has the highest strength gain.
Would have to double check on that because I'm not fully familiar anymore. I used to be at some point with the Agi heroes, but so many things have changed in between. I haven't read all of the patch notes, small printed details about Agi heroes. I feel like we've been so focused on universal heroes for a while and their changes. Especially the ones when they were first released, right? With the, was it 0.7 per stat?
Oof.
Or 0.8?
It was 0.8. Thankfully, it got reduced to 0.7. See who's got the highest int gain. I want to say Pugna. Yes. I love Pugna. 5.2, not even close to the next
5
highest
point.
person.
What?
Yep.
Sick. I don't think we actually had a +5 per level hero anymore in Dota. I thought we're that far in. Hey, we're still in beta.
It's just Pugna that has 5.2. It's 4.0 in Adjigan, excuse me, for TB, and Primal Beast 4.3 is the what he's got.
Yeah, 4.3. Pretty solid numbers. What about Universal Heroes? Because Nyx Assassin's 5.1 per level. It's pretty high.
Ugh.
5 for Darkseer.
I don't... it's just cheating, picking Universal Heroes, to be honest. I say that. Don't nerf my Winter Wyvern, please. I need it. I need the MMR. Just for being able to transition into a core.
There was a time... I know I reference a lot to the NADPC, but I remember our talks with Fear about the winning strat was 3 Universal Heroes in your draft, and you won the game.
Sure.
And we started looking at that number. No matter what teams were playing, if they had more than 3 Universal Heroes in the draft, it actually had a higher win rate compared to teams that had less.
It might just have been that those happened to be the strong heroes at the time.
They were.
Like, yeah.
That's true. That's why they got nerfed.
True.
I mean, this is like straight out of the Boston major qualifiers we were playing many, many years ago with our team. It was 30 minutes in. Game was tied. And our carry is like, I have a party to catch. And he left.
What? Did he tell you about this beforehand?
No. He was like, guys, there's a party going on. There's going to be some cool people there. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And we were like, we didn't even have time to convince him that, dude, if we win this game, we're into day 2 of the qualifiers. We get to play best of 3s. It's gonna be more chill back then. And he's like, sorry, I gotta go. But
there was someone he liked there. Nothing to do with cool people. There was someone he liked there.
But that was the last proper tournament that I ever played in, like a proper qualifier even. I mean, I would have been really happy to say for once that I've made it to day 2 of an open quali, but
dude, I thought you were about to say that was the last time I ever spoke with that guy.
It probably was, because I haven't actually been in contact with him for a very, very long time. But he was a friend of our one of our other teammates, so not really a close person.
So you can abandon
anyway.
him, but your other friend can't.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just like he abandoned you.
He abandoned the team. That's even worse.
True. Not just yourself.
But in this case, I just guess we have to wait and hope. Oh, pause timer is actually up. Looks like the rule book says, and it has always said pretty much in these qualifier tournaments, when your pause timer is up, usually it's a fixed 10 minutes, the opponent team is allowed to unpause. And usually then they themselves pause the game and they start using their own pause timer. It's a gentleman rule, right? You don't have to do it. You can do it. Now they're just directly passing away 2 minutes. I'm going to press my applause button here. Let's give a bit of a clap here for Nigma Galaxy for being true gentlemen. Well placed here.
Is it, has it been 10 minutes? I guess we're counting like the time at the very start of the game as well. I'm sure that was...
Time flies when I'm here with you, Denok.
True. When you're having fun. When it is 1 a.m. It also does help.
Yeah, maybe 1 a.m. there. It's 4 p.m. here. We have this lovely international crew here. We have a fantastic Brazilian production, Finnish caster with an Australian co-caster. We're all over the world. We're global here. We're casting MESWA qualifiers. We got all of you lovely folks in chat enjoying this grand finals here with us. And we've got everybody on the server. We do not need to play a 4v5. Let's go, Danog.
That's right. I'm actually interested to hear from the chat, like, where is everyone watching from? Because no matter who they're facing, Nigma Galaxy always has a ton of fans.
They certainly do. Omar, he's being intervened here in the river, but at the same time, nice toss play from Sumail. Isolates Pastil. And Nigma Galaxy ready to strike in. That is a Carapace poke to the high ground. And Hassan still dusted up. And another dust to follow with a toss from Sumail. The body blocks from GH will make sure that this next assassin's got nowhere to go. Dagon for a quick lifesteal, but he will die under his T2 tower. And with that Aegis, that might just be another tier 2.
Might indeed. It's just the one lasting presence stack, but that's still going to give that additional -2 armor. So Prince of the Dark Lord fighting with that -9 now to this tier 2. They do have the glyph available, but you already lost your tier 2 tower bottom, so you have to be very mindful about using the glyph for this. I'm sure they're just going to be keeping tabs of, okay, well, how long does that Aegis actually have? Do we need it for the high ground? And I think they made the right choice. The answer is still 2 minutes left on it, so look to try and keep it for that high ground defense as much as they can.
Yeah, Miracle at the moment, he's hitting with one Lasting Presence stack, 130 damage to a tower. So roughly 17, 18 hits. That tower is gone. So you start adding more minus armor, more kills. Gotta look at how quickly these towers get toppled. But I think everybody's already getting familiar with how stupidly strong this facet is.
What I do like about that downtime has really been beneficial.
Is there downtime?
Right? Well, right. No, I'm saying the pause time, rather, because I really feel like they use that time to just recenter themselves and say, guys, why are we splitting up against a Nyx Assassin? Let's just group together, use our high amounts of damage, use our tower-taking potential, and especially let's use the Aegis to be able to, you know, really take control over this map, and that's exactly what they've done. It's only going to get better as well with Sumail off the back of that. I believe he's finishing up his Black King bar now, so even more damage potential coming out for him. I think we've got the mech close to finished up, or perhaps it is finished for GH on top of the Solar Crest, and Muerta working towards that drum. So it's not like it's only Miracle himself with his own itemization that's going to be improving in the next little bit of time.
Oh, yeah. And the shard heal as well from GH. If Miracle, Sumail end up dropping low, that's quite a bit of healing that they can apply on these big HP pool heroes, not even counting out Noob, who still has room to grow his HP. One thing I'm worried about for Winterbear is honestly the lack of BKBs into Song. As Sumail finds Asan again, and there we go, Asan is gone.
And there we go, like, Lasting Presence stack, Solar Crest. He's going to back off just in time, realizing that, you know what, we don't have that Aegis to be able to play around with, but I think the main thing that they're looking for is just a glimpse of where this Darkseer is. They want to have they want to keep track of what his itemization is because of that item, right? I mentioned before that he's been building up into the BKB. Never mind, he goes and sells the Blink Dagger because you need that surprise factor coming through, right? You need the ability to start a team fight with a big back wall. Now he's going to have to reveal himself on the lane and do something to be able to get into this next item for himself.
I think one thing that they're looking for is that same type of initiation they were able to get in the bottom tier 2 fight. Getting that,
was off the Nyx though, wasn't it?
It was the Nyx into the Sand King, instantly following up. Just dishing out crazy amounts of damage, but it requires them catching the Naga Siren, but they're going to catch Muerta instead. Omar survives with 250 HP, and the charge in, the bubble save is going to be there. Pastil jumping the back line and cannot quite kill the Naga in time, as they will only get Omar. The song resets things. Miracle's on the run, pops his BKB, tries to get out of this fight. The heals ain't enough, and he's down. Miracle gone with his BKB up. And Pastil, he's keeping tabs on Noob. He does have that onslaught, so Pastil doesn't want to see what that Primal can do to him. Waits for his teammates to come back up. But hey, that is 2 kills, and nobody lost on the side of Winterbear.
It's getting to the point where they just need to buy a gem on this Nigma lineup, right? If you're going to group up, you've got to make sure that you've got constant awareness of where exactly this Nyx Assassin is playing, right? Yes, you can't stand right on top of each other because then you're just going to get, you know, a big back wall, you're going to get multi-man burrow striked, but you've got to stay within at least the same vicinity to be able to get that quick save off.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Getting to the point where everyone just needs to be holding on to a come on, you know what I'm talking about, raindrops. There we go.
Raindrops, yeah. Soon we're going to have the Conda up as well on Sumail. Those tree tosses are really going to start hurting.
That's what's so great about the Tiny, right? It just feels like there's never really a big weak point for the hero, right? Like, strong in lane, then you have your level 6, then you max out your Avatos combo, then you get level 12, so all of your tosses are even stronger, then 15, 50 extra avalanche damage, 18, 20, counter timing. Like, it's literally that time between 20 and 25 that's probably your only weak point on the Tiny.
Yeah, it's a bit like Puck. Itemization fixes the things that the hero's lacking.
Hassan
Really makes it big. Hassan finds Sumail, but Sumail's faster. GH is there to help out. The bubble, though, will save Hassan. He blinks away. That blink actually saves his life now. Proving to be a more valuable purchase for him every time he uses it.
It was on the very tip of that sentry ward that was placed down as well, so mindful of that. It's a really long Roche respawn as well, so this smoke is actually going to be the correct play they're going for.
Tormentor just spawned.
And they did, maybe expecting that someone's going to be farming that general area.
Well, let's see, they're scouting ahead. Nobody to be found, but if they are clicking their illusions, GH will see that Shiva's debuff.
They'll also see the Watcher get removed, so that's what the pings are for on the map. Sumail just saying, this is where they are, guys. I'm going to lead the way. Doesn't have a BKB up, though, for another 40 seconds. That's my main concern.
He's in a good spot, but they just run straight to the Tormentor. It's a trap. They pop their instant BKBs, and there's the wall onto 2. They're going to catch Miracle as well, but the zone comes out. Their BKBs are running, though. This is going to be dealing a bit of damage here, but still, he's all alone. The Sand King finally caught at the end there. Takes him down. Pastil, Sumail both gone. Requiem to zone out any possible jump from that Nyx assassin. Son was looking for an angle in.
Really ballsy move there by Sumail, especially. Like I mentioned, he didn't have the BKB available, so you were just walking up into, you know, an epicenter that you knew was probably going to be coming out, and it shows the power of those BKBs on both the Darkseer and the Sand King there to be able to turn that one around, get a couple of kills in your favor, and
ooh, Roche is not up.
Yeah, it's a really long Roche spawn, so I think they're going to TP all the way back, but it's definitely not going to be spawning top. Like, the longest possible time is 30 seconds longer than it is right now, so oh god, quick maths. 33 and a half minutes, I think, for when it's going to be on the bottom side. So that gives a ton of time for Nigma Galaxy to be able to play around this area.
With that scan, they also saw that first it was red, turning into green. They might be moving away, so they established control of this bottom half. Noob already charges in to scout in deep, but there's nobody out there. And Winter Bear just moving over to the top half of the map. Straight back to farming.
Yep, GH is just going to stick around here, and very wise choice, buying up that Gem of True Sight. Coming out to him on the career right now. Probably not as quick as he would have liked, but it's got the clarity on it as well, so being mindful of that. Sumail is actually going through this Twin Gate, and they see that it's coming. Are they going to be able to set up for this, or are they just going to run away? It seems like the latter.
Dire scan on the portal, but portal activated. I think Miracle might have seen a glimpse of it, but Hassan interrupts the 3-man stun into the 3-man back wall right there at the gate. But no damage to follow here.
Pastil?
Do they get themselves in? There's the Metamorph popped as well. Kachal's already moved away for now. Poison in trouble. That SD getting isolated. Pastil loading up the Epi. But he got stunned at the same time, and GH holds him down. Their cores will survive, but their supports are down. Nyx also bought himself back in. Miracle TP's home. All the way to the tier 2 at least, so he can get this wave out. And now Roche.
Very odd use of the Twin Gate coming through from Nigma Galaxy, right? Just basically giving up their positioning for the area that they didn't know if they had it or not. Not having any sentries as well, so that entire movement was scouted out by the Observer Ward from Poison. And this is what I'm talking about, you know, when you're able to play on the front foot, when you're able to, you know, use the lack of vision that the enemy team has, and get a few ganks with this Nyx Assassin, you start second-guessing yourself. So the fact that they were able to get away with all this is big kudos to Winter Bear. We're going to try and get some more here. Oh,
Noob spotted early. Sumail as well. His blink is broken by that TB illusion. He can't get past them, and that allows them to finish off this Roshan. Age is picked up, and the banner for Pastil.
GH.
Really hard.
Did they lose the gem off of that engagement? Because he just got it, I think.
It's on the Sand King.
Oh.
Deluge slows up the Sand King just enough so he can catch up to the Naga. But yeah, Pastil is the one holding on to the gem.
And Darkseer as well. So Pastille, I think, took the
Oh, they got double.
GH gem. Yeah, so that's GH's gem that pretty much was just instantly lost. So 900 gold, instantly going back the other way. That's an 1800 gold swing. You still don't have a way to be able to find out this Nyx Assassin. Hell, even just the Sand King in teamfights, right? He's got the Sand Shroud facet instead of the Dust Devil. So, you know, you're constantly having to carry dust on someone just to be able to find out this pesky guy. He still doesn't even have Bloodstone, man. Like, he could be even more survivable than he is right now.
That is true.
Radiant's bottom tower
Looks
is
like he
under
wants to go
attack.
the different route here. Sand King. Oh, yeah, this is the right-click Sand King, right?
Daedalus.
It's the Axe Daedalus, yeah, where your Stinger does a nice amount of, I wouldn't even say DPS, because it's just a ton of burst. Hassan, he sees Miracle. He's going to call in the troops. Can we jump the Shadow Fiend? Can he break his blink before he's out? He's already gone.
Are scanning.
The scan was perfectly timed there by Miracle.
Oh, no,
Hassan,
no.
he sees where he is. The TP cancels there. GH only has some illusions to help him out, and Miracle to go down.
I mean, what is he doing alone? You're against a Nyx Assassin. And they had no vision up there as well. This just seems like very uncharacteristic mistakes coming here from Nigma Galaxy.
Slightly disrespecting maybe the speed of Winterbear to make these plays. They were coming in. The scan was already popped as well. Pretty greedy playing that deep in the lane.
They're setting up the ideal scenarios for Winterbear to be able to come back into and potentially win this game is the thing, right? Like, you just want to stay grouped up as much as possible. So, you know, if you're splitting, especially with your win condition in Miracle, who, by the way, no buyback, so he's dead for 40 seconds. He just bought out that Eagle Song.
And this is the first time in 36 minutes and 2 series combined that Winterbear has a net worth lead against Nigma. A jump in on Sumail. Big stun there from Pastille. The 4 staffs to push him to safety. The tier 3 is gone. Noob is also pushed away by the reflection. Working their way through the range racks. Song is up and everything, but they cannot do it without the SF. They might be able to start a fight. They'd have to go in before the melee falls, so that is a lane of racks with the Roshan banner. Claimed by Winterbear.
They're playing exactly like they need to. You know, they're just playing good Dota right now on Winterbear and punishing. A little bit of arrogance coming through in the double Aghanim Scepter. What a timing to be able to come through here. Might be able to afford playing a tiny bit aggressive in about 45 seconds time on this Terrorblade. Now that he's got the Demon Zeal, he wants to keep pushing aggressively, keep forcing the fights closer and closer towards the Nigma Galaxy base because, yeah, like I've just been saying, you've got now that those spikes constantly within the Sandstorm, and you've also got the normal punch available for the Darkseer. This game has already kind of turned on its head, but it goes much more in Winterbear's favor once the Blink Dagger comes out next on the Darkseer. That's the big thing that I'm looking for them to potentially close this one out.
Well, let's see. Nigma with the triple BKBs. Going for the smoke out from the Radiant Triangle, cutting some lines. They know that top is the next one that's being targeted. They will get all the way to the base here. 18 seconds for Metamorph to be up. They are willing to sacrifice that T3 tower, but they gotta get that jump on the back line as soon as possible. There's also an activated Watcher. Poison close. They're coming from the low ground. Poison sees them coming in. Hassan instantly with the Carapace stuns the Primal Beast. Pastille charging in. Hitting the back line. Miracle drops low, but the Pulverize is gonna be there. Pastille now focused by Miracle, hitting from the low ground. And they are dropping low here. Black Wall only hits Omar. But Miracle has to TP away because that TP was getting free hits on him. Now Omar is isolated and the Muerta will drop. Sumail misses the Avalanche. No connection. Only the toss goes through. Hassan lives. Sumail doesn't. Noob on the high ground. He's going to park himself in that corner. Can they still get something done here with Shadow Feed up?
I don't know about that. I mean, it just feels like you need to sit back and let them take this. Might look to try and interrupt the TP out. Maybe look to punish while the Darkseer isn't there. He's such a big part of their aggressive potential, but I mean, Miracle nearly melted just to that initiation coming through from Pastille, and it was only just some really quick fingers coming through from Noob that stopped that from being much worse than it was, grabbing him inside the Pulverize, enabling him to at least get that BKB off and start hitting back the other way, but he is certainly not this unbeatable raid boss is Miracle. He is a glass cannon.
5.6k damage once again dealt by Pastille. Now with that Aghanim's up, he's going to get those nasty stinger spikes coming up.
They're just straight in onto the tier 4s. Trying to force
See if they
out
can
some of
end
these
it.
big cooldowns.
They push the Terrorblade out of position. Not really getting any sizable damage on him. He has 4,500 HP with that Promulgate. So that's an extra 1k. You have to try to break through.
Trying to interrupt any sort of TPs on the retreat was Omar, but... well... said game 1 would be very important, and the main concern for mine is that it feels like Sumail's scaling has almost stopped entirely. You know, he's falling a good amount behind. It feels like he was level 17 about 10 minutes ago. He's level 19 now, and so, you know, that's the main thing for mine. They need to go back to farm mode. They need to try and pick up another gem and just look to stay close, but not too close together, you know? You just can't afford to have another person picked off, especially now that buybacks are such a rare commodity. You've only got it on Primal Beast and the Muerta.
Shard being picked up. That's for the Sand King. Extra pulses there. So wait, I haven't seen this in a while for some weird reason. Shouldn't Sand King be pulsing that epicenter around the hero, or is it only when he has his ulti active? When he's getting that shard to activate?
I think it's only when he's walking.
Because it hasn't procced a single time that he's been moving. I don't know if that ags before the shard breaks that interaction. I don't know.
I think it's when he's walking near a creep.
There we go. All right. There's the first pulse. So yeah, it only activates with hostiles nearby. Gotcha.
Hold on.
Hassan
This
actually
would be a pretty
found here
decent
under
pick-up.
vision, feared by Omar as well. Almost scuttled
willing
him
to make
all
the
the way
jump,
to the
though.
cliff.
I mean, that was prime position for Sumail to jump in, get the Avatos combo, toss back potentially to the rest of the team, but didn't end up taking it, and as a result, you've still got this 5v5 where they're
You
hitting
don't
into
have
your
a lot
face.
of time.
No glyph.
They might just look to end the game here before
Look
they
at
even
these
get to
illusions.
mount the defense here. There's so many TV illusions in the base. 500 damage already dealt to the Ancient. Sumail stunned, pops his BKB, tries to run away. Only a couple hits away from falling. As we at the same time get the Song,
back
the
wall.
Pulverize. They are getting that TV controlled, but no damage from Miracle coming through. Now he Requiems his BKBs as well, but he's almost dying to the Terrorblade. GH is down. Sumail and Miracle are gone, and that's going to be game pretty much. They cannot hold it with Noob and GH remaining in this base. Omar down, and Winter Bear. This will be the first defeat for Nigma in this qualifier. And we're going to start things off spicy 1-0 Winter Bear.
All right, yeah, we get to see a little bit of a closer series. This is what we were wanting all throughout these qualifiers. Not a whitewash, that's never interesting. We love to see these up-and-coming teams. You know, Winter Bear, the old roster, they had a little bit back their draft.
I think it's going to require quite a lot from Nigma Galaxy to, you know, forget about what happened in the last game, pick up 1 or 2 notes from it, and try to crush this game number 2. That's what's on their sights. They want to take that momentum fully away from Winter Bear. The thing is, it's not a best of 3, right? If you win game 1, you ride that high into the laning stage, you get a first blood, or you get 1 or 2 kills happen here and there, you feel really damn good about it. But the moment you start losing your timing, it's like when you're like breaking the camel's back, right? You lose everything from that. It's like the momentum's gone, the net worth lead is gone, and the game just feels like it's directly in GG territory. Like, we're just going to give this one up, the series is tied, and we can't get a grasp on the series anymore. Purely mental damage. It's a best of 5. It's a marathon. You kind of got to pick up the good parts and, you know, feed on that little, what was it called in Lord of the Rings? That lembas bread. Take a little bite at a time, and you'll be good for the day.
Yep. I want to just harken back before these 2 smokes connect to something that you said earlier in terms of... Hold on, they're splitting up again, but it's actually not Noob going off on his own, it's Pastille, and they might need him for this upcoming team fight. They'll see that they've been in the vicinity off the back of the Wisdom Rune. Another double down.
Plus 100 for Poison so far.
Really, you think the MMR was that unbalanced, do you?
You already got one double down right, got a second one in this series. Third time's the
Miracle,
charm, and
Miracle.
finally starts losing some. Miracle walks into Kachal.
Got
GH
connected
is
by the boar.
nearby. More slow is there. He loads up the stun. Omar Sumail. Beautiful stun there from Omar. Sets things up, then that first blood is going in Nigma Galaxy's hands. Sumail picks that one up, and a second kill is imminent with Poison dropping. Miracle wants it, but GH's Battery Assault takes the last tick.
Not a bad option either. I mean,
Bad start for double down. There we go. The alt chat, it's coming back.
No worries, it's fine. Plus 80, exactly. They've already got the extra little bit of bonus, and honestly, having the clockwork in this lane, you know, double melee against a Beastmaster doesn't always feel that great, but if he's gone the Call of the Wild, that Battery Assault can be really effective at just hindering the impact that he's going to get from the boars, and you can see that's what GH is prioritizing. He wants to make sure that he's taking those out, already forcing Kachal to deny it through for himself rather than help him with his last hits.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be a very powerful tool. Hurting Kachal in the laning stage. Of course, with the lack of those axes, they really have the possibility to stack. Not really. Nyx finds a courier snipe here in bottom as he blocks the easy camp.
So, just to again touch on what you were saying earlier, I think... Hold on. Gonna get rid of that, courier.
We're going to have to leave that thought.
If Nigma Galaxy won game 1, I think this would have been like a 95-5 Nigma Galaxy favored. Now that it's, you know, one game in favor of Winterbear, you really can't discount the mental aspect that provides, right? Like, we are good enough to beat these guys. I honestly still think that Nigma probably should have won that game 1. It was just a bunch of unforced errors that they made that resulted in not quite going their way. But this really does turn into a bit of a 50-50 situation. Even though they are one game behind, I would still give Nigma Galaxy that 50-50 chance to be able to take the entire series.
Yeah. Especially the draft that they have going right now. They can keep things going. They might hit slightly earlier or faster timings than Winterbear does, as we kind of went through their whole itemization plan. And the way that the safe lane for Winterbear is going in the top lane, that was 7-1 for the Dazzle already, so TV's got a bit of catching up to do, but with the Metamorph, we'll feel a bit more protected. Dazzle not exactly the highest HP pool, even as a pause 3. I've seen a lot of these matchups where you pick Dazzle into like an aggressive fighting laning matchup. Omar dropping pretty low here to Poison here, but Poison might be the one to drop. The Hex is there, and they'll finish him off before he gets a spell off. Noob now targeting Malfurion Storm Rage. He'll get that Poison Bloom to connect, and it's a huge chunk. Plus the slow was pretty nasty to deal with.
And he wants to just be abusing that whenever the TP doesn't have the meta available, right? Like, what are you going to do going up against it, especially if your protection in the Pugner has already been removed? Good timing as well.
Say, like,
to be able to
it's
get
a pretty
aggressive.
fun lane because, like, I'm a big TV enjoyer, but I'm also a really big off-lane Dazzle and mid-Dazzle enjoyer too. So I feel like this is really cool seeing two. I would say one is hyperactive.
Poison's going
Get
for
to
it
level
again.
2 or level 3 bad Juju. We'll have to wait until that Juju kicks in later. He's got the Lotus. He'll be okay. When you get to level 2 or level 3 Juju, it's literally mashing your keyboard and hoping you land the right spells, because you have to go between like Alt-W, graving yourself every now and then while casting a Poison Touch, your Ag Shadow Wave into another bad Juju, hoping you have enough spells cast to get the Grave off again and Alt-W yourself again. Maybe save an ally as you're doing it, and it's just, you know, button mashing. While mashing Kachal in the bottom lane too, as Miracle and GH don't give a damn that there's a T1 tower.
And then you're also going to have to worry about this Nether Ward as well being a factor. So you can't just like
zap.
indiscriminately button mashing is not going to work out very well for them. Gotta say, loving how this bottom lane is going. And again, it just feels like, once again, a direct answer to the Beastmaster. You know, laning into a Clockwork with it, not necessarily the best option for Winterbear by any stretch. And just letting Miracle get the last hit onto the Sentry Ward, letting him get that little bit of extra gold, plus 14 for him.
I mean, look at how the CS is being divided, right?
Yep.
It's a huge gap already in all 3 lanes. Maybe not so much in top, but the kills making the difference here. Terrorblade Looks like we're talking exactly about those kills as Noob picks his first.
I was expecting this mid lane. I wasn't necessarily expecting what's happening in top to be happening quite so much, but yeah, I guess that...
Chal might dive on him as well. Acid spray stun with the cogs and the battery assault. So easy. What is this Nyx gonna do to help the beast? 7-0 on the board. 8-0 maybe? Pastille one hit away. Sumail's got this one.
This is much more of the Nigma Galaxy than I was expecting, and yeah, maybe a little bit of respect. Do you think they were regretting giving a couple of minutes of their pause time over to them? Probably not. They all seem like good mates, but this feels like the serious Nigma Galaxy has been unlocked.
Well, they've been gentlemanly. They've been scholarly throughout the start of this tournament into game one, what we saw, giving that pause timer and all. I wouldn't say they led that game for Winter Bear, but now they're certainly taking a full-on grip of this game to start at least, so back on track.
Because it's nighttime, they haven't quite seen GH making his rotation
Dire are
towards
scanning.
this lane. He doesn't have an observer ward to place behind the tower, but he should be able to sneak through inside the fog of war to
Look at
potentially
top.
catch out Pastille.
Yeah, actually, we could maybe watch this chase here. GH just pesking, I think a pesky boy here for the Sand King. He'll lose that bounty. I was just watching a top as the Pugna was about to get a kill onto Omar.
Dire are
He
scanning.
got him down to like less than 100 HP. Then Pugna realizes he's quite alone and TB hasn't used his meta and he's quite far away, and Dazzle starts hitting in poison and he's hitting him with even more. TB under the tower trying to make a run for it. Sumail kills Pastille. Malfurion Storm Rage down, and it's an 11-0 game with another off of
Dire's
Hassan.
structures are fortified.
Yeah, really nice movement coming through from GH there, dropping the sentry ward down just inside of the tree line, out of the tower range, and using the fact that that assassinate gets put off cooldown to get that double kill in onto the next assassin as well. Still hasn't put a point into the spike Carapace.
Attack.
He has been just bullied in that bottom lane over and over again, and again, this is how you need to play against the Nyx.
They're
Play
diving
fast,
top.
play aggressive, play in their face.
Get the... And this is what I wanted to see. The 7-minute carry rotation into the lane when your opponent has just teleported in. So Miracle is just going to be level 6 on a level 4 Terrorblade, preventing him from getting into the Roche Pit. He's going to try his best here, but it is, of course, Miracle loading up the stun. Going to secure that kill. And, you know, Winter Bear, if I was already worried about their first item timings,
Dire's top tower
if
is
only
under
shards
attack.
activated sooner than 15 minutes, Nigma would be like, hell yeah, let's do it.
It might still be lacking a little bit of damage to be able to do it, but even Noob, just with that
Dire's top tower is
Shadow
under
Wave,
attack.
just keeping in the creep wave alive, keeping the siege creep up. You've already lost 2 towers at 7.5 minutes.
Lion is 80 gold short from catching the TB. Put another 100 on top of it. He's past the Sand King. Pastille is down to Sumail for some right-clicking without take-aim points picked up. It's just max shrapnel with the scatter shot facet.
Dire's
And
middle
some
tower
headshot
is
points.
under
Didn't
attack.
go the ghillie suit. I think they just, again, said, we are playing aggressive, and I'm sure they're going to be very mindful of the fact that there is a giant stack here that Kachal is going to try and yoink away. You can try. Not sure how well it's going to work out for
Absolutely
you.
try. Yeah, now Sumail right-clicking away on
Omar.
Hassan, and Miracle coming up on the other side. Omar gets it denied, so that's not even the first kill for Winter Bear. It's 16-0 at 8 minutes. 9,000 gold on top of that, so 1,000 gold per minute increase for Nigma Galaxy. And the AI has more kills than Winter Bear.
I mean, they just really need to protect the steal here. Even getting the D ward off his GH, just playing once again up in the face, gonna take out this Pugna.
Number 17.
And potentially the rest. Sand King is so desperate for being able to claim a lot of these ancients, but not going to be the case. We can see Kachal, he's had to pivot, having to lane on his own. He's gone a bit more into the wild axes, which means that he was wanting to go into that Helm of the Overlord to try and push things out, but you're just not going to be able to pick up any sort of farm if that's the case. So wild axes,
Yeah.
pick up one of these stacks, at least for yourself, but you've also given one up, a huge one, over to Miracle and Noob.
Win probability graph is given a steady 88%. We're not even 10 minutes in.
Oh, he might not even get the full Ancient stack here either. Just looking to take away the very end of it as Charles.
Another steal.
Yep.
That's going to be a Radiance up.
Jesus. It's pretty fast. What's the
Jesus
fastest
Christ.
What's the fastest Radiance timing? Because time 45 seems pretty quick.
I think we need to look at all heroes for that, right? Or do we just want to look at Alchemist or just in general? I think we have to look at Alchemist, right? Give me 1 minute.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Not too much
Well,
is going to be
they're hunting
happening,
the
of
Sand King in the
course,
river.
in the meantime. Just more kills across the map, 18-0. You think they took it personally, T, that previous loss?
I'm pretty sure they did. Something's happened and something's clicked. I mean, when I was saying it's time to go back to work, boys, I think that's exactly what they did. The fastest the fastest Radiance on Alchemist is tied by 2 players at the same time. These are Mr. NA and Mr. SA playing in NA. We have Sammy Boy and Tomato at 10 minutes, 22 seconds. So are you saying that's a new world record for Miracle?
I think it is. 9:45 is what he picked it up at.
Gotcha.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Might as well add that to the list then.
And I better see some bad chests in chat as a result of that as well.
And we can add in even, like, using, of course, Mr. Knoxville's Dota. Adding Semi-Pro adds only 1 on top of it, and it's 10 minutes and 4 seconds.
Was that you?
No, unfortunately.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You could have just lied. You could have said yeah.
I could have, but everyone knows I'm an off-lane player.
True.
Me getting an off-lane Alc Radiance at 10 minutes and 4 seconds, that would be wild.
Look at the lines being drawn across the map. They're saying this is the only place that they could be playing right now as Hassan finally hits up onto his level 6.
First kill. There we go. Omar down. They'll use the roar.
They found Noob as well, but
Make sure
they
that
see.
they get this one. Noob is getting close to finishing that Ags as well. GH is going to decide to go in, but he's still stalking under Noob. They might actually have to turn it to save the Pugna. He's still level 5. GH holding the front. Sumail. I'll finish off Poison with that. It's not even a level 2 assassinate, but it feels like it. Hassan
He's got the Carapace.
bullied a lot by all of that damage, and Sumail going up to a godlike spree now. You got your first on the board, but I got a feeling we're not going to get to the magical 22 and 3.
Radiant's
You
bottom
never know. I mean,
under attack.
it depends if they just give them a tiny bit of time to be able to sit back and breathe. Probably unlikely, considering how this game has gone so far, but it could happen. I mean, Pastille is 100 gold away from being able to have that Blink Dagger, and he's just picked up a Haste Rune as well. So, yeah, there is that possibility for, you know, a big team fight going their way, and I say big team fight going their way. Even 2 kills would be a luxury for them at this point.
Now they
Need
catch
to pop that
Pastille.
haste. Oh,
Sniper shooting away, and Sand King yoinked away. GH wanted to secure it with a hook shot, just in case if that assassinate damage wouldn't have been enough. You know, Sumail, he hits level 2 now, so an extra 100 on the assassinate. Hassan does have that level 6, as we saw the Vendetta in action, but unfortunately wasn't able to use it properly. Kachal being invaded in bottom, while GH and Omar and Miracle, they find Malfurion Storm Rage.
is a level 9 position 5 Clockwork, bullying a level 8 Beastmaster, by the way. They also see Assad with that Rod of Atos as well. They really want to try and take him out, but won't be able to,
He's
unfortunately.
walking in under a sentry, trying to target him. They even loaded up the epicenter,
Bait,
hoping the
though.
Sand King could get there in time. He's going to go for it, trying to make it happen. Straight to GH. Clockwork. Number 2 kill goes through.
Ooh,
It's a different type
The
of
smoke.
22 and 3.
he smokes
Or
just in
2-2-3.
time to be able to protect from the assassinate. It's still going to come out, though.
Yeah. Smoke protect.
No attack.
Well,
Ooh,
how would you
Pastille
feel playing
Yes.
this game, you know? Because it's...
Suffocated.
Dire's middle tower is
Oh
under
no, they're
attack.
going to lose the Wisdom Rune, too. Ooh, he's burning. He knows he's nearby. Creeps are giving him the vision, and
Are scanning.
I think they're just going to have to resign themselves to the fact that you are losing
Dire's
Wisdom
bottom
Rune, and you
tower
can't even
is under
leave.
attack.
Poor Pastille, he's just like, well, I'm here. I guess I can kind of leave, but they're just going to converge onto him pretty damn quickly.
Sure, another kill goes their way. Sumail for the 13th kill so far.
Oh, he got him!
Oh, he actually caught Pastille there with that blink. And that's another one.
And another one.
So we got a 13-0 sniper. Got a nice 407 Alchemist who's only starting to join. Which is like these are not even your 14-minute stats on an Alch, right? Usually he'd be like, I'll be optimistic. He'll be 101, maybe 200 or something like that on an Alchemist. Maybe he's died 2-3 times in lane, but 407 when you've only got pretty much your Radiance timing like a minute ago, but now he's got Radiance and Blink already up by now.
And you've got Ags on Dazzle.
And Ags on Dazzle. Flightmare and Sniper with his laning items. 1600 HP Hassan, that's not a kill. But still, maybe. They don't have the epicenter. They're going to try and make sure it works. The shrapnel. Sumail might be able to kill both of them here. It's got Hassan. And the reflection. It's the one that kills Sumail. So 1100 gold for the TB. Something really to play for.
Feels like the only damage source that they've got at this stage. So you'll take every little bit that you can get. Brings him closer to the Manta style, just 1500 gold away. Might be able to, you know, push out a few of these other lanes, but again, you're going up against a Dazzle and a Lion, so you don't even need to commit a core to be able to deal with like some TB split push.
Dire are scanning.
Slowly getting to the point of stop. They're already dead, but Winter Bear is not giving in. They'll try to make this smoke work. Rotating towards bottom. There's an Alch. They can just run into Miracle. They hoped for maybe something else as their action rune, except for the regen. Maybe an AD, an Arcane, a Haste even, something like that that would actually help them. That regen is not going to help them at all. Pastille is caught at the back. Let's get the stun off. They'll be taken down. Kachal gets the roar off, but that's another. Sumail treating that sniper rifle like a shotgun.
Kind of feels like you need to just call GG, rinse, repeat, don't let yourself get too bogged down in this, unless they're legitimately having a good time.
You gotta be some kind of masochist to enjoy this if you're Winter Bear.
You never know. You don't know what they're into, don't kink shame them.
I'm not. Just saying. Just reinforcing the rule here. I mean, it's 30-3. It's not exactly the most enjoyable game for your average Dota player, so... I was thinking that smoke might just be it, but we'll continue to see this one through. Is there an item timing they're looking at specifically to maybe still play for? Guess the Manta. Okay, they catch Noob. If they're getting these lone heroes here and there, it could be worth playing. But if they lose the TB here, yeah, they do. Finger and the Assassinate. It'll be an easy cleanup there. Sumail doesn't have vision on the Sand King, but Miracle shows in to help him out. Catches the stun as the Burrow Strike goes off. But
Clever
no escape for Pastille.
Yeah, just trying to get back up onto the high ground, but good positioning by Omar to make sure that wasn't necessarily going to impact all that much. And well, off the back of that, it does slow down at least the Aghanim Shard from the Dazzle, but Lion being there from all of it, he's close to a Blink Dagger as well, so you've got even more initiation potential now. And yeah, I'm sure that's probably when Nigma are going to want to try and end this, is when that Dazzle does pick up the Shard, and you can just keep pushing on forward, not having to worry about TB illusions at all.
Roshan might take a moment, but they're going to make sure they're going to take it. Nothing Winter Bear can do about contesting this one. Yeah, I mean, Sniper's a good Aegis carrier, but Alchemist is like one of the worst. When in a lead like this, honestly, I don't think it would mind too much who picks up the Aegis, as GH will, with that 80 rune, solo kill Poison.
I think they're just thankful for 30 seconds of farm on the map while they were taking Roshan. They're like, finally we can get something. I mean, Kachal, 1 level off that second point in the Primal Roar, 300 gold away from the Aghanim Scepter, so there's something. It's just, how are you supposed to, you know, find that way to be able to get it onto the backline, stop the Dazzle, stop the Lion? Because they're providing a not negligible amount of damage at this stage.
Noob doesn't actually have the shard on the Dazzle yet. I'm not sure if it's flying in on the Courier, as GH again. He found Poison before. He'll find Poison again. Nyx is trying to hunt down Sumail, force out that Aegis, but he does get protected by the Pavus. He'll get that physical damage barrier work against that Nyx's right clicks.
And this time around, they're not going to let any...
Down beast. No dilly-dallying.
No dilly-dallying and no stupid Nyx Assassin. Yeah, just assassinating our team. You know, it is I think it was an 18-minute gem pickup, which is normally a couple of minutes earlier than we see even teams that are absolutely dominating look to try and get it. So they're just saying, look, we're going up against this, we're going up against a Sand King as well with that Sand Shroud. Let's just take away any sort of questions as to how they might be able to come back into this one. Gonna try for Miracle,
Trying to set up a Miracle. Yeah, he's got his BKB though, so I think this attempt is gonna fall a bit short as Hassan cannot get the Impale out in time. Needed to be a slightly bit closer. While Malfurion Storm Rage is pinged out, hook shot's ready. All he needs is this TP to just stay in place. Sumail gonna start with the early damage, shrapnel spam. They know he has the Sunder, so they're just gonna wear him down and hope for a quick kill. The Mantadodge is there, the Roar does connect from Kachal onto GH. But the Steel cleaned up, the Sand King is gone. Magna doesn't really get a long duration ulti out. Noob surviving. Does he kill himself to the grave because the Nether Ward is still out there? He has to get out of range, yeah. He just got out of range of the boar, almost killing him.
I mean, that just goes to show how confident they are on Nigma Galaxy. Understandable, again, like, it's a 35 kill lead at this point, but they could have very easily just sat back and gone back to the lane, right? Don't look to take a fight because TB just used meta. You know now that he doesn't have that capability to join into a lot of these team fights. You know that it pretty much makes Dazzle have a free fight every single time now. So what are you supposed to do to try and defend against this? I'm sure they're keeping track of some of these cooldowns. 40 seconds on the Epicenter, another... How long on the TB meta? Yeah, about 80. So you could very easily just move up onto this high ground if you were really wanting to.
Yeah, you can definitely do it. You still have that Aegis on the sniper for 2 minutes. Slow siege away. At least one good thing you can get out of Sand Shroud is that AoE, but Omar's not afraid. Not with the lead that they have. If there was any other game where it was even close to 1k net worth difference between the two teams, that Lion Blink could have led into Winter Bear turning things around, but 24,000 gold, that's 24 times you have to ask that question if you want to go.
And I don't think Epicenter on its own is going to be enough. They need to wait for this TB to have something. I think he used the Demon Zeal just prior to the Arcane Rune coming down, so a little bit of that more consistent damage, but what does it even give time to? Like, Kachal just sitting back farming, trying to get a little bit across the map. Really wouldn't hate to see him just push into this tier 1 tower top. Maybe force them back a little.
He's TPing home. He's right next to the sniper.
Aegis sniper.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
San.
Full wraparound though. Look at Poison and Pastille.
See what they can get done here.
Trying to find the
start
Dazzle.
loading up. They got the hook shot already. They caught the Nyx Assassin, but Miracle
double
hit
stun.
the back line. He caught both Poison and Pastille. And with that, they've lost the Terrorblade, they've lost pretty much everyone, and I think it is time to call it GG. And this best of 5 is now a best of 3.
Man, if there was like a mega win, a double win, that would be it, right? Like they just have
worth 2.
Yeah, we're at 2-1, guys. It's not 1-1, but no, it was just completely... It was a destruction. There is no other way to put it. The laning stage just went far the ESL One Bangkok LAN. Interested as well with the Disruptor who's gone the Kinetic Fence facet. Not too often you see that.
Wow. Kinetic, really? He actually did go for Kinetic Fence.
Yeah. The only time I really see that is occasionally against a Pangolier because he actually bounces off of that unless that's been changed really recently. So I see no Pango. So interested to see. In pubs,
10% of people pick the Kinetic Fence.
Yep. I'm interested to see
very small percentage.
I am a Disruptor spammer, so I have tried it, and then I was like, this is garbage. So, also really prevents that kinetic field static storm combination, right? Like, what else? I guess they've got a few stuns to be able to play around with, so you don't necessarily need to rely on the Disruptor, but it just makes it a little bit harder for you to make those individual plays going into the later stages of the game.
Let's see, Nigma Galaxy charging in with 4, again without the Beastmaster participating in this one, but I think they might have given an idea away with that ward place down, Omar. There's GH with the sentry, instant D-ward. He'll get the money for it. Spreading around bottom, suspecting where is that Beastmaster. Monkey King will walk straight up to him. It's a carry MK that has a Battle Fury lined up in his quick buy.
Not a fan. I don't know. Like, I just feel like Battle Fury is way too slow for this current meta. You know, you need ways to be able to pick up that farm without having to rely on an item that just makes you effectively useless for about 15 minutes.
I'm not a big enjoyer of the Battle Fury Monkey King either, for the same reasons. I'm not going to throw anything extra on it.
I was wondering if they were going to scout out that Monkey King tree inside of the bottom lane, but he started wiggling around, so...
I think, can we also, Observer, take a quick look? This is a very minute detail, but just still about the kinetic fence on this Disruptor. Is it just me, or does that tooltip end midway? After a short formation time, creates a wall out of kinetic energy that enemies cannot...
P ...
Yup.
I assume it means pass. Oh, well.
Maybe
you'll have to take our word for it.
I'm not sure if that's a trademark on Gandalf.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting one. Hassan is doing some pulling shenanigans here, keeping that creep wave, following him around, trying to get it to Kachal, but GH is being annoying as usual, following whatever Hassan is doing, and they'll get to connect it in front of the T1.
Very nicely done. GH trying to yoink the wave away is, again, just using that high base movement speed. Even without a wind lace, he's pretty much just keeping up with this next assassin off the back of the deluge.
They could maybe dive. It's level 2 on the gyrocopter and GH. The double
big wave as well.
They are going to try and maybe get a bit of poke onto this next assassin. GH is going pretty deep on it. He knows he's not going to...
flat cannon. 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's not going to pull aggro by casting Deluge, which I think is a good thing for this Naga Siren. If they ever want to dive under the tower, helps that gyro get closer. There we go. Web, reel pulling in. They do get the stun on GH. Hassan is low on HP. The hammer will zone them out. Miracle's not going to go for the risky dive.
I like that they recognized how GH and Miracle are going to want to play this lane, though, right? Like, Hassan has been trying to avoid this lane as much as possible. You know, cut the wave like he did before, use the boots of speed, not really engage in that lane that much, and nicely done by Kachal, making sure to hold his Celestial Hammer for a lot of those plays. As
it was close to being a Sumail first blood as he was spamming Shrapnel on Pastil, but Poison kills Omar first.
He must be a glutton for punishment or something in this mid lane, because it's going just as it did last game, right? You give up an early kill, he's 5 denies down, he's about 5, 6 last hits down as well. Not going to get too much easier for the Sand King. Double Sentry Ward drop down as well, just giving him not even a tiny bit of room to move.
And he'll find the other. He won't find the second Sentry that distance is not going to be far enough. Kachal trading there with Miracle and GH. Getting poked straight back onto the tower. Only 8 last hits to the 18 on the gyro, plus the 6 denies, but under the tower he'll be safe to farm at least this wave for himself.
What Hassan is even doing, right? Like, he's got that Mind Flare off cooldown. He wants to make sure that he's got enough mana to be able to...
I just love how they're phrasing that question. Like, what is he doing?
Well, I mean, is he trying to set up Sumail to be gankable just because he's got a few stacks that he's been able to... Not stacks, he's got a few creep camps that he can look to invade into to prevent Sumail from getting that scaling off the back of the scatter shot. I really feel like you just need to be casting that Mind Flare pretty much off cooldown and get a little bit of regen for yourself as well to enable that sort of gameplay.
Empty that Clarity stock. He's still got 3 in the shop. Which he could just buy for the next himself. I've seen double nulls. There's Kachal's Courier. Easy grab for the Naga Siren. They managed to deliver all the items though. Now, Nyx Assassins may be looking to do the same because GH is chasing the Nyx around. That Courier is slowly walking in, and GH also notices that, yeah, I'm not going to send my Courier to the jaws of this Nyx. It's waiting in the middle of the jungle now, just sitting AFK on the map. Miracle has got jumped on with this rotation with the Monkey King, and there's the Lion TPing in. Is it enough to keep Miracle alive? The big stick, he's trying to turn around with a barrage, knowing that that glimpse is going to take his life. Nomar unable to save him, so that's going to be the second for Winter Bear.
Alright, well, they're able to get a kill onto Miracle. Does cost them their time, though. So, again, Samael and Noob just able to sit back, pick up their own farm, not too concerned about everything that's going on to their position 1 carry at this point, because it's going to be a little bit until he's truly online, right? Maybe once... Oh, hold on. Well, has to be a little bit careful of Poison, who was trying to get the glimpse back onto him, and well, eventually does do it, but stayed inside the tree line for just long enough.
Also trying to
and
jump.
It's always
the job.
like... That's another all chat moment, if you ever get it to you, when you're playing the Disruptor and you kill someone, they TP back, and you instantly glimpse them back to base. That's, well, lane's over.
Yeah, it's worthy of a tip, usually. But it's one of those things that you don't even need to tip to get that mental damage out there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe just a quick smiley face, and that'll be enough.
It's funny when Nigma does have a voice line called "Silence is golden,"
Mm-hmm.
and then nobody replies back to it. Just, you know, just feel good.
A little bit unlucky there for Pastille, not able to pick up the power rune at 6 minutes, and all the while his tower is being dived in onto.
Sand King getting pulled back in for GH. Nice setup of spells here, but is it going to be enough to take Pastille down? It will do enough with 1 assassinate, but here comes the big hammer lady. This is the Starbreaker stun. Sumail trying to load up a desperate assassinate onto the next assassin, but the assassin lives. The fence is there. It blocks out GH. Omar is able to get out. So it looks like they were able to...
The value from the fence. You watch. We're going to eat our words, too. There's going to be a godly fence play.
So you can only use it in, like, proper choke point fights, right? Is there one... okay, I got it, right? Playing a next assassin line, Roche Pit. That's the one. You scuttle in, you can walk through the wall, go into the Roche Pit, and the moment they try to get out, there's a wall. And you can cast that twice.
And it kind of holds them in place for an Epicenter or a Dawnbreaker ulti or Nyx Assassin.
At rank 4, if you time them both in the same spot, it's 8.8 seconds of being unable to escape.
Sure. I feel like it would be a lot more viable if the cast range was just a little bit longer, you know? Like, you do need to get really up close and personal to have any sort of utility, and I feel like if you're doing that as a Disruptor, you're dead.
I feel like is the way to go basically an Aether Lens early on this hero. I mean, you're playing a support, you're not exactly the richest hero.
Nah, I think as a Disruptor, you're either going for a big item that's going to impact a lot of these team fights, like a Blink Dagger, or you're just going for something for survivability to make yourself a little bit harder to kill, because it is quite easy to be able to take out a Disruptor in the early game.
True. He's a bit of a soft boy. But can't ever forget the impact of a Disruptor late game with that Aghanims.
For sure. Not exactly the biggest... I mean, obviously, with the Ags, the items are still going to be able to be used, but, like, not the most high threat spells that you're having to stop, right? Like, you've got a Sniper, you've got a Gyrocopter. As long as he gets off the Flak Cannon before that happens, I think he's generally okay. And he's going to have the Aghanim Scepter as well, right? So the Satanic has the potential to still be happening, all things of that nature.
Bit of pressure coming down into mid. I think they're targeting Pastille. Throwing the dust, but it's on the edge of that, so the moment Sand King moves forward, he's going to be revealed. Pick up his face boots at least. Only sitting at 2,700 net worth. The Sand King is going to need a big boost to his net worth soon.
He's got a stack to be able to help him out a little bit. He's actually going to pop the Epicenter just to be able to take this stack inside of the,
it's the right
the
call.
triangle. You're not ready to fight just yet. Rather get this before Gyro, Sniper, Beastmaster are able to invade and try and yoink it from you.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
At least the pace is not as brutal as last game from Nigma Galaxy, but still 3k ahead. GH, they're targeting the triangle.
They see
Actually
Pastille as
not.
well. They don't have dust. I think that's the main issue. Got it on the Lion, but Omar isn't quite there yet.
They don't really need the finger, especially if the sanking is this low, but it's a luxury very soon.
Just looking to play around those power runes once again, and that's an
80.
damage rune on the bottom side. Can't be letting the sniper land into that.
Yeah, everybody just got revealed with the Dawnbreaker in it, so Sun King knows he's got no business there, while Miracle hitting a T1 tower, and Noob is also happily, aggressively farming the jungle, as he's already got the Helm of the Dominator, soon up with the drums.
Pastel is just spending all of his time running right now, and with that amp damage, with the siege creep, it feels like the timings are so on point here from Nigma Galaxy, as Omar not quite yet level 6, so not in a position to really go for that Finger of Death kill onto the SK, but
did Kachal just go a bit? Ooh, I was a bit worried. Did he go a bit too deep with that Starbreaker? Lion could be able to catch him. They're stacking on mid. Here's our fight. Hassan, he's going to go and initiate onto the Beast Smash. He got roared before he ever threw in the Impale, and it missed as well. Noob does end up in trouble, though, and the Kinetic Fence makes a nice little X marks the spot on the ground by Poison. The zoning Static Storm. Omar falls because of it. They cannot help out the Lion. They got their tower, but they will lose 2 heroes for it.
I mean, maybe they could have followed up onto that if only it was a kinetic field and he caught 3 people who were actually pretty close, like right on the edge of those stairs there, right? But the fence just didn't feel like it did much of anything.
Can make some pretty interesting wall patterns with that, because you have 2 charges of it.
Yeah.
Have to isolate people because they can't move to one direction or the other. You can also draw, actually, dude, the ultimate BM with Kinetic Fence. You win a team fight without using Fence. You draw an L. A big L on where they died.
All right.
Next level.
You've been talking to Amar? What's been going on?
No, I haven't. I'll give my word for that. In before pause 3 Disruptor becomes a thing with Kinetic Fence.
I can see it happening. They have found Noob here.
Backup's coming, though.
Surely.
He is very tanky. They didn't use the epicenter for this kill. Glimpse is going to take 1 hero out. That's Sumail.
Oh, the fence!
The song is there, but the fence blocks him for a while. It's not going to be enough damage for the Thunderstrike as he's regenerating really rapidly here. There's the web, the Reeling Disruptor now. You can try and glimpse one, but you cannot glimpse the other core. And now there's still looking and got the epicenter on the Gyrocopter with Malfurion. The roar comes out, but it's not going to be enough to save him. The gyro will fall, and there's the finger to take down another Omar with the double. Can we get a triple for this Lion? He's right-clicking. He's punching him down. And this guy, I don't want to go up against him in a boxing match as Omar cleans up the triple.
Oh, baby. He might be
Fight's not over yet. Dawnbreaker coming in with the ulti on top of Pastille. Nope, trying to run for it. Omar almost got that one for an ultra. I mean, if he didn't get that one, this could have potentially been a 30-minute rampage on a Lion, but Noob and Sumail will take their share.
He still got a punch off onto him, though, so even though he didn't get the actual kill for that third one, he's now got 3 Finger of Death charges, so plus 120 damage coming from that. This is nothing to be ignoring in a lot of these next fights, right? Like, 720 damage now off the Finger of Death is enormous.
Well, if somebody was an enjoyer with the Battle Fury and the Monkey King, you know, the Lion does it better. Pretty huge for this Lion impact in that team fight, because you're worried about Sniper getting glimpsed away. Gyrocopter ends up in trouble, and Miracle just doesn't have the items to overwhelm his opponents yet, but this Lion surely helped out with that. Omar's going to have some sick damage dealt at the end of the game. Trust me on that.
Oh, I believe you.
I trust you, bro.
Absolutely going to happen, as Kachal will be able to secure his own Wisdom Rune, not getting it denied out by the GH Naga illusion. What's he looking to go for here? It's like he's building into the Blade Mail, really wanting to be one of the first ones into the team fight. Makes a lot of sense. It does mean that he needs to be constantly in communication with Asan in particular, who, it's a bit of a check, 700 gold away from being able to get into the Dagon. Once you get that, I really can't see too many reasons to, you know, not use that Solar Guardian off cooldown, pretty much. You know, the Vendetta and that just need to be back to back to back.
Also, the timing in about 5 minutes for the 20-minute map reveal. Try to connect with other heroes that aren't able to click on top of the Nyx Assassin. Smoke up with the Sand King, for example. 20 minutes is going to be a very important timing for them to look for a potential successful fight. And Nigma knows to be aware, but they don't have to be worried about right now. Omar, long-range stun onto the Disruptor. Sucking away all of his mana. Static Storm comes out, but that's an ulti down, which they cannot really utilize. Their stacks are being taken away. Hassan is there to at least give information and sap some of that experience for himself.
Yeah, I think Kachal made a dedicated decision not to use that Solar Guardian because Monkey King didn't have the TP scroll at that point in time. He's just been sitting down on this bottom side. And again, the issue I have with this Battle Fury build, haven't really felt his impact.
But still caught in mid. Roar from the follow-up stun from Omar with the finger, and that's a fourth one. See if he can go punching around. Hassan spots the Lion.
Does he?
Might have actually been on the edge of vision. True, he might not have actually seen him. They're coming
This
down
would be
bottom.
a nice little claim here for Miracle, though.
GH is in a good position. Hassan might have spotted him, but they already initiate on him, and there's the song to
slow.
cancel every ulti out. They're TPing in. They want to take this fight. Miracle leading the charge. Nice call down at the double strikes. The secondary is connecting on both of them. No way you're running out of this, and it was pixel perfect for GH. He was almost spotted by the Nyx Assassin. Monkey King was committed. He wants to ulti. He wants to go in. And the moment they drop their ults, and also the Dawnbreaker, half a second too late, because the song was already up by the Naga Siren. It's like, oh boy, this is not going to end well.
Absolutely not. Even just the small things like leading with the Boundless Strike as opposed to waiting for the Impale before using the Solar Guardian means that you're able to just walk on out of that Solar Guardian radius, and yep, ends up getting away. He, of course, Song of the Siren just ends up turning it all around, and really good positioning by GH once more.
Hassan is a bit alone here in the river. I mean, Malfurion and Pastel are nearby. Omar already dusted up the Sand King. The Roar comes out. Static Storm right after, but he's not taking any damage. Static does nothing to him. And with that Granite Golem buffed up with extra HP, that's a free mid Sand King down again.
Not even just a naked helm with the Overlord either, right? He's got the Drums of Endurance. Looks like he's building into the pipe. Just wanting to provide that little bit of protection against the Sand King that they didn't have in that game number one. It's the definition of insanity, T. Feels like, not to the same extent, but very similar story to what we saw in game number 2, right? Like, Samael just gets enabled to have a lane that he dominates. You've got some questionable choices with where people are moving across the map from Winter Bear. Certainly
Questionable life choices.
Facet choice as well. I haven't really seen the value come out of the kinetic fence just yet. I've been waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, we certainly have, right? I mean, we're yet to see, you know, maybe it turns around the high ground defense, but Nigma looked like they're interested in taking a Roshan, and this Disruptor is not going to be nearby or close enough at least to contest it. Dawnbreaker down. They don't have... I mean, this Battle Fury Monkey King, like, the game is already not in your favor. You didn't really have the space to farm it because you're 10k behind. Is it really going to pay off in the late game? Can even get to the late game? I think that's a bigger question to ask.
I don't personally think so. I think it's just going to be a little bit too long for him to be trying to go for these cheeky plays. He doesn't even get to finish off the creep wave that he was trying to farm. He's getting pinged in the map. But, yeah, I mean, how long can you try and do these cheeky little wave cut plays before Nigma Galaxy just run at you? You know, take tier 2 towers. They've already taken one in mid, and they want to take out this tier 2 top tower to just give them an easy Tormentor, easy Wisdom Rune to be able to play around with. You've got the Aegis, so why not? Now a Blink Dagger on Omar as well. They spot out the Nyx.
Beautiful. Right on spot here to take this Nyx. Is he going to get a 5th finger stack, or is he going to be friendly enough to give it over to the Gyrocopter? Well, doesn't really have the chance to pop it because of the Carapace already being up, and he will lose his life and the streak to Hassan, but I'll get a tier 2 tower and Miracle a kill.
I think Nigma Galaxy are well aware of the fact that, look, they're just going to try and take every single opportunity that they can to be able to farm. Poison he's got it in mind that, okay, well, they're going to be trying to go for an attempt here. Our best chance to come back into this game is off the back of ambushing them as they go for the Tormentor, when there is some of that AoE damage potentially coming through. Ooh,
They're on the edge of that smoke popping. They're running away so that the sniper doesn't accidentally pop their smokes. Now
They
the
should see it,
epicenter
though.
loaded up, and they should see this happening, but they're going to get jumped on anyway. But the Wukong's come out on top of them as well. Noob going to be jumped on by the Dawnbreaker, but the song from GH. Can they get these Beastmaster up the fence? You cannot put... You cannot. Sumail TP cancelled by Hassan. And the Aegis is out. There is Mr. Omar Tyson waiting on the high ground, but I don't think he's going to be strong enough versus 4. So Sumail goes down. Aegis and his second life.
So who's the Jake Paul in this scenario? That's Omar Tyson sitting there. I mean, we saw the value proposition of the kinetic fence, right? It's a pretty narrow scenario where that was like, was that even the optimal choice? Because I feel like the field would have done just a similar sort of thing. Are people going to die to this? Okay. Get away in time.
Well, are you
I'm not a
entertained with the kinetic fence?
I'm entertained. I'm just not a believer yet.
Thin line between being a genius or just being a madman.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the other Tormentor. That's a pretty darn big shard. That's the Naga Siren with the Song of the Siren regeneration. And in a game where there's a static storm, it basically counteracts the effects of that damage.
Mm-hmm. Also, getting close to finishing up the Greaves as well for GH, so going to provide a lot of safety for the rest of the team. Much more of an aura-oriented style, especially, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? Your 2 carries are the Gyrocopter and the Sniper. They don't really need to go into auras at all. And, I mean, Beastmaster's kind of done his job if he's just able to survive with that Helm of the Overlord creep hanging around, have the Drum of Endurance consistently popping. And, yeah, the Pipe of Insight is what's going to enable your team to just stay alive.
Went a bit aggressively in there because Omar just gets the jump on this Sand King right away. And now Hassan being chased as well. Tried to save his friend.
Yeah, didn't want to go in and want to get that extra little bit of damage. Doesn't need it, honestly. He's already got plus 200 at the 22-minute mark.
I think we're gonna need a real Rocky Balboa montage of Omar using his ult.
Gotta run up and down those stairs inside of the river.
Oh yeah. Can see someone doing that. Good old fan edit. Kachal's got a AC lined up on the Dawnbreaker.
AC or Ags?
AC. Okay, swap to Ags now. Okay, he had AC a moment ago.
I get the reasoning behind the Ags, but don't you go the other facet then, if that's the case? I feel like you need to be a legitimate core if you're wanting to go the solar charge facet.
Right, yeah. I guess we're min-maxing. Only could be the thing. Though, if you do land a pretty good ulti, Starbreaker pretty much just almost instantly refreshes.
They have definitely learned from the previous game, because look at all of Nigma Galaxy. They're off the map. We don't know where they are. No Nyx Assassin showing. He's coming for us. Pretty much is the mentality. And
Pastel just showed that smoke break as he goes for the D ward. Now Nigma knows where they are.
Can guarantee that Pastel is not who they're trying to find. They want to get this Dawnbreaker. You know, the one that can just look to join in onto the rest of the team. It's the same sort of mentality that you take when you're going up against a Spectre, right? You don't go on the rest of the team. You go on the Spectre, because she can join everyone. Everyone can't join her. Might take a quick kill onto Poison, though, if he just ends up walking up into this.
Oh. Actually hit the Disruptor. Now they finally scout Poison out. That's the kinetic fence out. I don't think he can win the fight anymore.
It's over, guys. No feds.
Black Dragon to lead the charge down and bottom.
Tower is under attack.
Good old Red Eyes Black Dragon. Doing his work.
Yep. It's easy work for Miracle here with that Crystallis. And his courier is flying in a Daedalus recipe, but he doesn't have the Demon Edge yet for the full Daedalus.
getting close to being able to pick up the Shiva's Guard is Sand King, so that's going to be pretty impactful. You know, you've already got a little bit of lifesteal on the Gyrocopter. Actually, you don't. He's went ahead and sold some of the stuff that he had, but he's going to be building into the Satanic soon-ish. And of course, it's going to impact a lot of the heals coming through from the Naga Siren.
Bit of a chase down in the top lane. Omar trying to catch Kachal, but Hassan. Oh no, Omar. He fell for that one. They'll get a trade going with this next assassin dropping. Kachal waiting on the high ground, has his ulti ready. Monkey King is here, Sand King is here. But so is everyone else. It's 4v4 if they do take that fight. It looked a bit silly because Omar's the one who's like, he needs to be the one to catch the target. As soon as they went just further away,
slowly waddling up.
Yeah, he picked up the slow from the Celestial Hammer, then he whips himself, and I'm not actually moving any faster, but the roar from Noob is going to be more sophisticated, running down on Kachal. He pops his BKB to get himself on the move, soaks up the Assassinate damage. Down to 600, but also the Static Storm used just to get their offlaner back to safety.
Valuable fence charges used as well. Don't want to just throw those out for no reason. Before that fight, the other thing that I really noticed, and they've slightly corrected it since then with Poison placing up a ward on the left side of the map, they have zero vision on Winterbear's side. Like, they just have a completely dark map to have to play around with, so it's going to be a little bit dangerous. Like, normally you're the ones trying to choke out a lot of the vision and play around the fear of this Nyx Assassin.
Well, they're going to make the instant play onto Sumail here with the instant stun. They push themselves out of the Dawnbreaker ulti, and there's the song, and things are going to change from here. Noob's got no roar, but it doesn't matter. They're going to fully unleash the damage that they have, and they just run through that fence. Miracle, at least, with that BKB. He's straight on hunting for blood to get poison, and there's the ultimate to connect on Kachal by Sumail. And Monkey King loads up the ulti on Omar. He disappears. They will clean him out, and GH maybe as well. They can potentially get him down, but GH with that mirror image buys a moment to reset his attack animation, take down Kachal. Still 4 for 1.
Very happy to take a 4 for 1, and it was a Wukong's used just to be able to potentially clean up a couple of supports after the fight. So even just the location of that fight is a little odd, right? Just because he spent all of his time sitting back, taking a lot of this safer farm, means that you still haven't even taken your tier 1 tower in the enemy mid lane. In any lane, actually. So, you know, that it just goes to show what these Battle Fury style carries are lacking. You know, that early game presence that open up the map, that don't just make it easier for you. This is not the era of the full-on 4 protect 1. You gotta be contributing somewhat to the rest of the team.
And also just the fact that, did they even pop their BKBs at the start? Because the Naga song seemed to cancel out their entire initiation.
Well, you don't have one yet on the Sand King. I think that was the biggest issue, right? Like, they were trying to follow up, and no epicenter. The Shivas went off, but that was about it. And it's going to be quite some time until he's able to get into that BKB for himself.
Just comes to show how difficult it is to play against this Naga Siren, why this hero is always first face banned.
I'm just watching Hassan trying to find someone on their own. I don't know if Sumail's the one to be able to go for. Honestly, is it even kind of worth just hitting that tower? It's on 50 health, but the heroes are too close by. Be mindful though, Vendetta's running out.
Also, the Radiant Scan does connect, so Monkey King knows about Noob, about Omar. But Omar finds him first, and he force-steps the tree down! That's a boxing move I haven't seen Omar do in a while, but hell, that is a play.
It's indeed, and, well, it's just going to show why you can't let this man have his line. He's just been impressive from start to finish, finding those quick pickoffs, playing. I think the most important thing is he's playing alongside the main damage dealers that are able to put out that burst of damage, right? And, you know, Assassinate, that enables you to do it. The
second
Master, of course.
Down to the river, but the damage is just too much with that Daedalus up on the Gyrocopter. Chews through Kachal.
Bro, Noob is doing this solo in the mid lane, and they're so scared to have to walk up into this. This is only a Helm of the Overlord, and the fence is going to try and keep him out, but like any good pest, he's just going to keep pushing on forward and causing a lot more distress.
He is the Zoo Master, right? keeping the zoo in and the master out, but defense can only hold for so long. And here goes your melee racks, an almost full completion. There's the glyph. They will get another as this melee drops. No tier 2, so another fight like that or another pickoff that they find could potentially mean a mega creep situation or even the end of the game. So Winter Bear, they have to be extra cautious now.
They do, and I think Nigma need to be cautious in their own way. They don't want to throw what's essentially a one game at this point, so just do the safe thing, right? Like, look to secure Roshan for yourselves. You know it just moved down to the bottom side of the map. For Winter Bear, it feels like a lot more of a dire situation, right? Like, they're kind of forced to fight for this Roshan because if they lose it again, this is the Roshan that has the Roshan's banner, so you're already going up against a sniper that's a good high ground.
Look at the wards down. Asani takes one step forward. He's going to be revealed. Insta-hex there from Omar. It's too easy. Epicenter, though, followed up on Gyrocopter. Miracle.
They got BKBs,
GH
though.
came in with a Blink Song, and they cancel out the Epicenter. All of that damage going down the drain. Now the cooldown's going to be falling on top of Bastille and the rest of his team. The Dawnbreaker ulti's going to be connected as well, trying to keep that Sand King alive, but it's not going to be a possibility. And now Miracle dropping low with Malfurion, hammering it away, but the stun's there, and he's gone. And they will clean up Kachal. Nigma takes everyone without losing a single member of their team. The roar just stopped that MK.
It did, and I mean, I think the big thing is you can't underestimate how much damage this Nyx Assassin is actually doing in a lot of these team fights, and if his decision isn't to buy back, I don't think Sand King should be buying back on his own either. You know, the fight is lost at that point, and they just kept committing in for some reason.
All starts off with wards placed down in the lane, and Omar with the instant hex before Nyx gets anything off, so again, just showing the power of that insta-hex Lion.
And they're only going to get stronger and stronger, right? Oh, Roshan's banner still on the deck. Can't be leaving that there.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't think they really need it. This game is as good as over.
Boys having a bit of a Top Gear moment. Like, anyway. Moving on to the next lane of racks. Buyback status is not exactly very healthy for Winter Bear either. Monkey King and Nyx. The only ones who can afford it.
Furion pump faking that ultimate of his, but even if he drops it down, all you really need to do is run away. They're just trying to buy a couple of seconds of time using the glimpse onto Miracle. Could fence him in.
Oh, Pastille just got stunned up there as well. That is the Sniper Ags. Another 3 seconds, he can do it again.
By Electri.
Just the fact that if they get that one single stun in, it might be enough. And now he's loading up the epicenter for a second there. Nuke just charging in with a gem, protecting that front line. Nyx Assassin quite alone here. San. Not sure if that was the play, but it was committed.
He's just too far away from the rest of his team. And like I said, Nigma, they've really righted the wrongs of what happened in game number 1, right? They just didn't stick together, and that is the way to beat this Nyx Assassin. Also just going this full-on ball up and run at you strat. What are you supposed to do against it?
Doesn't seem like a lot. They're going to give him one more effort at least, but still does survive the initial burst. Song is still up here for the Naga Siren. GH is waiting for his moment to use it, as he does have that blink. And there we go, he's loading it up. There's the Song. And Sniper will be taken down by the Monkey King. That cooldown will miss almost completely because of it. But let's see if they can still fight outside of the Wukong's command. Omar doesn't get the stun to connect. Still need his teammates around. 5v4 plus the Aegis. Miracle notices that they're charging into the low ground. Omar does get the Hex out onto the Nyx Assassin. They need to get Asan out of the way, which they will do.
Die back.
70 seconds out.
They're holding onto the gem on Noob as well, so he's already got just so much health to have to go through, so many resistances too.
Roar is ready. Do they go for the Dawnbreaker right away? The kinetic fence is in between. They'll keep the beast away for now, but they will roar up the Sand King, and they're targeting him a bit as well. The Monkey King does land the stun on 2. Miracle still has the Satanic. He's going to be fine, and Noob is just punching away. Smack after smack after smack. And they'll get that Monkey King down. He does a buyback, but not a whole lot to show. Just the Battle Fury Crystal is in his inventory as the Ancient is exposed. Nigma looking to close out. Qualifier point. hit the backline where they find Pastille trying to teleport behind them, and now the Monkey King's in the middle of everyone, and this is probably going to be his dieback. But hey, there we have it. GG. Nigma 1 win away from being the MESWA representation.
Again,
From the
a very clinical game, for sure. But I kind of feel like Winter Bear did this to themselves a little bit, right? Like, we highlighted, okay, if you're going to pick this Sand King, you need to be stun into hook, right? Like, that's just the combination that they're going to be looking to go for. Try and get them underneath the tower. Go for a few of these cute little plays.
Prepare for battle.
We do see as well, Sumail, he went the ghillie suit facet instead of the Scatter Blast. I keep forgetting the name.
Scattershot, yeah.
It just means that he doesn't feel quite as confident of absolutely crushing this lane. And I think they're fine for this one to go maybe a tiny bit slower. You know, just get Mars into a few of those key early items. You are able to just stay a little bit further at range and just be harder to find, basically, because the only one that can really find you is the Storm Spirit, and he's got other fish to fry as well.
I'm already looking at the Pudge quick buy, seeing the face boots into the Aghanims, which is exactly the build you're going to have to go for. Maybe he fills in 1 or 2 items in between. Probably don't want to spend too many gap items until you get to Ags, because it's like you build a bracer, you could be 500 gold closer to Ags, right? You have to think it that way. You're very timing dependent. And just one quick notion, which I always see a Pudge carry that has a miserable lane, or even the off lane Pudge run into. If you don't land your hooks, you're a pause 4.
True.
You're a support Pudge.
Pause 5.
To invade the river. Pause 5, pause 6.
Well. 2 for 2, Trey?
3 for 1, by the looks of it. Noob's gonna steal one.
Alright.
Bit of extra dosh to go with here, so let's get this game underway.
I am not a Pudge believer. I think this is going to be a 3-1, as we were both predicting at the start.
But we can cheer for the guy.
We can.
See if he can already land his first hook. Nice split there from Noob and Omar. Not gonna catch the first one. We're looking at the mid matchup as well. Sniper versus Storm. He's definitely gonna do better than with the Sand King.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're going to be able to land some farm. You're going to be able to secure some of these range creeps at least, and you're not just going to have your strength and your HP bullied down every single wave. So that's the main thing that I'm going to be looking for. Still able to secure some of those range creep CS on Malfurion Storm Rage's Pos 1 Pudge.
Very weird lane, right? Pudge Nyx. Stun into hook, like you said. Like, that's the only thing they can really rely on. If the creeps walk in between, or Noob walks in as well, or maybe the Muerta dead shots or something, that can also just spoil the party. The right thing to do there is, like he's literally just did there, he hooked the big creep from the camp. You don't really have kill potential with the 2 of them at level 1, so get a bit of mana, maybe a Clarity or a Lotus or a Mango, something going on your way, and amplify for that. But this does also mean that Mars is going to have a pretty free time in this lane, at least the early levels.
Mars and Muerta, though, right? Like, you're playing double melee. This just... Well, he's constantly baiting that hook, and there we go.
Well, yeah, and also bottom, there's a kill happening as Hassan. And that should be enough. GH will score the first blood kill.
Topside.
Also topside, yeah. Pudge doesn't quite get in range. Doesn't really want to pop the rot on either.
Should be just fine. But even just looking at Omar, right? Like, 2... He gets hooked.
There we go. Nice catch into the blood grenade. Is it going to be enough, though? They need an extra hit. It looks like this Nyx is not going to get that. It looks like Nyx is going to die as well. What a nice dead shot from Omar. He will have to walk through the calling, and dead shots him back in to get another damage proc and just help Snoop secure it.
Yeah. Might be able to get this pre-pull off as well before maybe going back to base. He might just have a bunch of regen being ferried out to him, and that is the case. But yeah, I mean, 2 melee into a Muerta, you're both going to get hit by that dead shot. You're both going to get harassed constantly. If you move forward to try and kill you, we just saw, going to get hit with God's Rebuke, 2 for 1. It's a lot of value. Still, he's on the run. Anyone going to join together with this is the real question. Feels like Sumail feels like he needs to go back to the lane, not to miss out on too many CS. So that means that Storm Spirit's going to be able to secure that bounty rune for himself, but still doesn't solve the issue of Sumail having another good lane.
Yeah, he's had the crown on throughout this entire qualifier, right? Nobody's been able to really properly challenge him so far. And that is a good indicator going forward for the team as well, that you don't get these random deaths on your star player down from the mid lane. Because there are teams that sometimes it's like you have a 14k mid player and just isn't consistent, you know, just gives first bloods a lot to his opponent or doesn't kill his opponent that many times. Sumail has been super consistent. Of course, you have to pay attention to the level of the qualifier, sure, but you know, if he died once or twice or 3 times, people are going to pick up on that.
I feel like you were talking about someone specifically when you're mentioning this 14k player. Anyone?
A bit of a grudge on someone. Oh, Kachal! Oh, that was close to comfort. Meanwhile, Pudge is dead in the top lane. Kind of suspected that would happen, but nicely loading up Miracle, the full duration concoction with the acid spray down, and Bristle survived with 13 HP. One more tick would have done it, but he walked out just before the tick came in.
Yeah, Pudge just tried to go for a bit of a solo play there. Didn't work out too well for him. Needs the Nyx there, and I don't think we've seen a single, you know, impale set up into the meat hook. Been able to land a couple of nice ones, but yeah, just that follow-up damage, and again, the double melee just feels rough. Actually missing that one entirely.
I think at this point, you're already behind an XP. Should just probably just hook the range creep and kill it over and over again, right?
Agreed. Is he going to get dead-shotted back into them? Seems like Omar thinks it might be a little bit too deep.
Hook is ready again. Does he get him under the tower? A lot of creeps in the way. While looking at Pastil being chased by Sumail, the ghillie suit sniper. He'll do it with good old-fashioned right clicks. He's got another shrapnel, and he just breaks through the branch, and he needs that connection. He's got it. And Hassan is now chasing the sniper. That level 3 clock is going to drop the shrapnel on top. Poison is coming in too, making it a 2v1. This is not really fair, boys, is it? And he just dropped the casual pause on top of it. So Sumail's going to get a tip from Omar. He's already, you know, done his job getting that 1 kill. He is level 6.
Kachal's in a little bit of trouble as well.
Is he? Oh, yeah, he definitely is. GH is laying the hurt on him. Which one do we watch? Oh, yeah, let's watch Sumail first and then jump to the Bristleback, see how things go. Sumail's going to kill.
Sumail is not dead.
And Kachal is... Blood grenade! Sumail also finishes off that 3rd hero. Now you should tip him.
There we
go. That's exactly what you do right there. You know, get those tips out. Oh, I accidentally pressed the air horn instead of the applause. Apologies for that. Sorry, you headphones users.
Omar is just so on point as well with that rotation to enable the assassinate to be able to get that last little bit of damage. Use the very tip of the dead shot to be able to prevent the Storm Spirit there. And it's another game, another mid sniper domination. Again, it gets to the point where it's like just ban it. Like why are we letting this through? It's just crushed every single game so far.
I guess the boys are kind of understanding what the situation is when they went for that last big Pudge, that, you know, if we can win a game with this, holy, we're good. But let's just enjoy our final moments, potentially. So it is another 7-0 start, but still forced in with the dead shot into the silence, and that's 80 sniper laying it in on Pastil.
Oh, the man has had enough, surely. No need to tip him as well, as it's going to be another 6-minute tower going down. 7-minute probably by the time it ends up going down, but siege creep, amp damage, still a pretty healthy creep wave. Omar might even tank a few of these hits considering he's got a healing salve to be able to play around with.
You got to draw the line of bullying somewhere, right? I'm so tempted to just join in on the all chat and just say, like, that's unnecessary, but...
No, let them do their thing.
We're going to let them do exactly what they do. Pastil level 5, halfway to 6. Sumail has already finished the tower at 7 minutes, and are they really just gonna... You know, they're gonna dive this tower a bit. And gotta respect the T2.
No diving, but certainly a lot of harassing going back one way. They were at least able to secure the Wisdom Rune for themselves, but still going to be quite a ways away for Hassan to be able to hit into his level 6 as, oh no, GH even denies the Observer Ward in front of poor Clockwork's face.
Oh dear, yeah, not going to be any extra gold going their way. Meanwhile, I'm just watching Pudge is having to jungle and walk back to the fountain, so that's not a good sign either. There is no one on the map to make a play. This is Nigma's game to control.
What was it? It was 44-4, the kill score.
Yeah.
0 kills so far for Winterbear. Will it happen? Will they get a kill? You'd have to imagine with an Nexus Assassin, someone is going to be out of position at some point.
Hook shot, impale, hook. Minus armor from Bristle. Someone's bound to die, right?
You'd think
Right?
so.
Let me be right.
Oh, nice little sidestep there from Hassan.
Making mistakes is the path.
Giving it the voice line combo.
Believe in the power of Lord Gaven. Loading up the stun here in bottom. Kachal going to be in for a bit of an ill surprise as Miracle wants to run him down. Has the Chemical Rage.
Could dive this? I don't know.
You got a guy holding 2 big-ass Christmas trees. I'd be scared too.
No stun under the tower? Very odd choice by Poison to just come in and essentially cast nothing until the rest of the team was there, and he's going to get himself killed as a result.
5-0 Sumail.
And a Clockwork about to die up on the top side.
Yep. Hit by the bonk in the face. Hassan's gonna wake up from the graveyard remembering that. That's gonna leave a mark.
Sumail seems like he's pretty keen to just keep this push going. They have a little bit of vision of Bristleback TPing back into this lane as well, and it might just be a very, very quick trip back to the fountain. Raindrops have been procced, and Sumail, he is fitting unstoppable this game so far.
The question is, compared to that 44-4 game, how much longer can Winterbear stand this game?
I
see it all the way to the Ancient being destroyed and give them the good old good luck forward, or?
I get the sneaking suspicion it might be a little bit quicker than that. They want to try and make a few plays, of course, around these support ultimates. You want the Storm Spirit to have any sort of item beyond an Null Talisman, but no, it's certainly feeling quite rough. It's always the threat when they go on high ground, though, of, you know, a hook underneath the tier 4 towers.
Still walking in, hoping to find a rune, and Omar has been on point with these calling. Silences up the sniper again, and it's enough for the Assassinate to follow up on him, take down the Storm again. That's the 3rd time he's going to be put and laid to rest.
And of course, it's a regen rune as well that Storm was potentially going to be able to get, but instead, it's a trip back to the fountain, 0-3-0, and Omar, who had 0 mana to play with, all the way back full.
Pudge and Nick smoking up. This could be the first kill for Winterbear if they get this to connect. Already got the Vendetta up.
It's a big if, and they're walking away from where everyone is.
Yeah, and I think like Nigma also has a bit of a warning sign. Their spider senses are tingling with this Nyx Assassin skulking about, that everyone's just splitting around. 3 heroes down in top, pushing a T1 tower.
Just trying to find someone solo, and it will be Sumail. No sentry ward placed down for him. I think they get a glimpse because of the daytime.
That's a lot of money just walking out there. Pudge is hungry for some meat.
That's Smoke of Deceit. Well, it almost needs to get to the point where Pastil
Smokes are
just goes
popping.
inside.
They know where you go. There we go. The hook shot connects. Hook shot. The hook even. Not even needing the hook shot because Clockwork's still level 5. And that is number 1 on the board. Killing the king. That's usually when the rebellions start. Or
Good way to start it, though. Pastil absolutely needed that one. They're just a little bit frustrated with how all of that turned out. They're going to grab Poison for a bit of a freebie. Oh, it's ulti used, though, so does stop their potential for being able to continuously push forward. What's that now given Pastil? I mean, he's picked up a fresh Raindrops, he's finished off a full Magic Wand, and look at it work into the Kaya. So at least once he's got that picked up, he'll be able to make a little bit of action happen around the map.
Just love it when your enemy support is not even afraid to challenge you. He's just sending in these walking remnants towards Omar. Like, I dare you to challenge me.
So unlucky. Like, he's just missed out on pretty much every single power rune as a result of pure luck. I mean, an illusion rune probably wouldn't have done that much to a Storm Spirit, but who knows, you know, going up against a Muerta with that calling. Omar's been on point with that so far. 006. Trevelyan himself is just making his life so miserable.
Coming down bottom, finding GH. Kill number 2. Secure. Goes for Kachal, and that should also be the first tower. They can just keep staying here and push that tower down. Pudge is, poking around, hoping to maybe catch somebody. But one piece towards the Ags. Unfortunately, he's not going to be on par. He's only got 4,600 net worth from the past 12 minutes. And look at Nigma.
Hold on. I'm just watching both of these
bodyguards
twin
are
gates.
here.
Both
They're
of them.
actually keeping bottom. Omar
They
going for
see.
the portal. And he's going to be greeted by a Pudge. So, into the loving arms. And that pierce the veil. Doesn't really help. Doesn't really
GH
purge
still
off the
wants to
dismember. He'll just get the fight versus the Pudge. And doesn't manage to buy at least the Blade of Alacrity. So doesn't really lose any money as he dies. Clockwork speared away. Tries to TP away. Asan not going to be lucky. Noob does find the next target. Going on to the third, which is a Nyx Assassin. Blood sported up as well, so they don't know about him. That's one way to secure the stun, right? Even if it doesn't hit the wall, you're throwing with a bottle.
Sure, why not? Just another way to be able to guarantee the kill. Stuns on stuns from range. I think that's the key factor there, and I mean, that's just how far ahead that they are, that they're willing to blindly use that twin gate in to the tower that you can see multiple people from Winterbear are looking to try and farm, and they're most likely even going to be yoinking away this Wisdom Rune.
Is Pudge AFK? I think.
I hope not.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. He's
Is he going to hook
he
the
was
Wisdom Rune?
he was
is the real
invulnerable
question.
in the fountain for a
Two,
while, not moving. I was like, is he
one.
gone?
Oh, he missed it.
Oh, he missed the hook there. Almost caught the Wisdom. Well, even if there isn't an arena up, you do get a bit of poke onto this tower.
Just level 1 hook as well, so not going to be able to use it all that frequently to maybe catch some ale, bring him back underneath the tower. Miracle. Seems like he was expecting someone to come out into that lane, and he was right. He was just about 2 seconds too early.
Mars picking up the 2 Wisdom Runes, put him at the highest experience right after, actually ahead of the Alchemist for now.
I didn't realize there was 2 there.
Yeah, he got the, he took the Dire one. The hook was slightly there on time and then picked up their own. Now Arena is up and Noob is going to probably join the squad. I say probably because they do actually ping him at the gate while they're trying to make a move towards the Radiant side of the map.
For some reason I thought there was
wave.
still 2 Wisdom Runes on the Radiant side just because of how aggressive they've been playing. See if this hook is going to end up landing somewhere.
Pretty dangerous. 1 versus 4. And he walks into everyone right now. The silence doesn't go through, but the fear is there. The damage is there, definitely, and Pudge is gone.
No boys with him as well, and Clockwork is getting ultied by the Mars too.
Well,
nice try.
yeah, you got a homing missile on you.
You were doing very well. I'm very proud of you.
18-3. 15 minutes in. 10,000 lead. Nigma that much closer to getting to play in the group stage. And did I say 15 or 25k secured? Just gonna
25.
I think it was 25. Yeah.
See you later, Storm. Kaya finished up. Raindrops available, but still just walking off towards... Was it bottom that time? It was. It was Arcane Rune bottom, so if he just walked back towards where the rest of his team was and where they hadn't just completed a gank onto the Pudge, he would have been able to secure that for himself.
Pudge is going to get the ulti on the Alchemist, but Omar instantly breaks it. Alk is still regenerating. 2-point Chemical Rage. He can stay all the way to the end, and Noob comes in with a big bonk. And we'll finish them off. Asan also run down, take the Clockwork, while Kachal was dropped really low. Forced all the way back to the fountain. He wasn't even in this fight.
I'm feeling a call happening pretty soon, T. Just got a feeling that might be coming sometime in the not too distant future. They're just running all over them right now. And it's hard to believe that this is the same Nigma Galaxy that threw away that, you know, not easy win, but likely win in game number 1.
Pastille's on a stealth mission. Jump on Noob. Asan throws in the blood grenade. The big thing to turn it around. It has to be the grenade, right? But Pastille is dead. Kachal applying a bit of debuffs there onto Noob with the viscous nasal goo, which I always thought was vicious, but it's not this vicious when Nigma's running at you. The hook does pull in the Alchemist straight to the arms of the Pudge, and that Radiance. Well, Sumail once again pulling out the shotgun from his pocket.
Yep, there we go.
There you have it. Well, congratulations, Nigma Galaxy. You have done it once again. Welcome to the ESL One Bangkok tournament. As one of the MESWA representatives joining Falcons.
And the old direct invite coming through, and well worthy of it at the end of the day. I mean, each of those wins was just as dominant